Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right. They're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona. And they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a D.C. lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EDU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it. All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He'll be back tomorrow, but got Keon Rose in the control room, and we got you guys on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I don't know if your job intersects with time change or not. Some people are like, crap. I had to get up earlier for this, or I had to get up later for that. I think now you'd have to get up later. So actually, it should be good for you if, like, you're a financial person or something, right? It means that your meetings in New York are no longer 6 a.m., they're 7 a.m. or whatever. You know, I mean, what time do people have meetings in real jobs?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a while since I've had one. So,
yeah,
it's been a good long while.
So, the people who are listening would know better than we would. But anyway, so, yeah, that is having an effect, I'm sure, on some of you guys. But for the most part, we are health-wise unaffected by the time change that happened yesterday. You did notice that all your games started an hour later, and that sucks.
Yeah, I like the early morning football. I'm not going to lie to you.
It sucks because, and I don't mind that the game started 11. I don't like that Sunday night football is now not going to be over sometime until 10 p.m. or later.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm, this old lady sitting there and I fall asleep after I'm done at Luby's cafeteria at 2:45. But, I don't want to be up too late on a school night.
I have noticed sometimes that when the Sunday night football game is not good, that broadcast is a little sleepier than usual.
Yeah, and last night wasn't great.
I was fighting to stay awake for that one.
I apologize. Why do I feel like I need to apologize?
Yeah, you didn't set the game up
for the Colts being bad. I mean, that's just, I'm sorry. It's my team. My team is bad right now.
You didn't put them in prime time. That wasn't your idea.
I was against it. I didn't ask for this. And then like Radio Ron came up. He's like, "Oh, God damn it, Joe Flacco messed up one of my bets." I'm like, "You should have. If you'd asked me, I'd have told you not to." I don't know why I'm getting yelled at right now, but Anyway, so hopefully the time change has been good to you. I don't know. There's been a couple of things here and there, a couple of little glitches here and there.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but for the most part, we're here. And if you're listening someplace else, you're there. I got a question. I have a question for Beat the Book with Dylan Cohen.
I suppose I'm one half of that show. So.
Well, I just logged into the text line, and it doesn't look like any of them have been read. Did you guys know you had texts?
No, we had some texts during the show, but there was some text from before the show.
Yeah.
One was directed at Ralph.
So I saw that. That was last night. Suck it, Ralph. Probably had something to do with the fact the Seahawks lost.
But we read all the texts on our show. So
I was straight up. Well, they are all marked unread.
That's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I straight up texted over to these might actually be for this show. These might actually be for this show because
because there are people
time change. It says 2 p.m. on here, but you guys probably did. Did you get it one about Flacco looking better in a crap colored Browns jersey?
No.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't one of ours.
That was Baker's Cocky Hens.
Baker's Cocky Hens was texting in during Beat the Book, and I guess he just stuck around. So,
and then Donnie, did he say on your show that Joe Flacco looked disinterested last night? My God, it was brutal to watch.
No, he didn't say that. No.
Yeah. Okay. So these are texts for this time change hasn't changed on the text line. I almost didn't read any of these things.
Well,
I'll always read Suck It Ralph though.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, and I was actually texting him. I was texting him during the game. I was like, "Oh, Geno," and he basically just turned on Geno Smith. He's like, "He sucks." And then when it looked like something good was about to happen, he's like, "He still sucks." So,
all right, so that's official, I guess.
Unhappy with his Rainy City bitch pigeons, I guess.
Started 3-0, 1-5 since.
Yeah. We've got a ton of football to talk about. Since we're going all the way till 6 p.m. today. Why? Because Monday Night Football is on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM. That happens at 6 p.m. We're skipping the pregame, and then the game itself will be on Money Radio. Why? Because we have a GCU game tonight.
Yeah.
Who's playing? I mean, I know GCU part is playing. Do you know who they're playing against? Fullerton, I think. Is that Fullerton?
I think you're right, but
I believe no, it's Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not bad. So that should be a pretty good game. Anyway, so that's happening here on 1580 The Fanatic at 6:45. So that's why Monday Radio has the Monday Night Football. Any other questions, please send a letter to your congressman. 888-368-1580. Berg says, afternoon, guys. Unless there's some major collapse in the Premier League standings, I expect to be relegated to the USL leagues in 2025. Oh, it was a good run. Go Keon. Win it all, he says. Oh, you beat the Berg, did you?
I did.
He can never, ever give you that crap again. Berg, you can never give Keon that crap again, calling him a bye week and saying he's horrible. He's just slightly less horrible than you right now. Okay, I'm kidding.
I was like, wait, hold on.
You're in fourth place. I don't know if you're going to go up any further.
I
not this week. But
this week. No.
You're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing better than me. Although I did win. I am winning this week with 107 damn points. I'm in garbage time. I am so seldom in garbage time this season. I'm going to just sit there and savor it tonight.
Bask in the glow.
So yeah, I beat Pinocchio, which it's like beating the Panthers.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. I mean, he's at the bottom of the barrel there, but I'm in the bottom part of the barrel with him. And I did win, and I still have 2 players left to go. I beat him 107-95 because that's how you know you're dealing with some real pros. And I still have Cade Otton tonight and Chase McLaughlin, the kicker. So, yeah, no matter what happens, I'm good, at least for this week. And that pulls me back up into the playoff contention. Not that we need to worry that much about it right now. But, hey, Berg, if I can jump back in, so can you. So don't give up. Don't give up. I mean, I just want to make the playoffs. That's all I care about right now.
Yeah, it's just nobody wants to be the host, especially. I mean, no listener wants to either, but none of the hosts wants to be a relegated team. You just,
no, you don't.
As the only person to have that distinction, doesn't feel great.
You're not the only one. Rosalie Michaels.
Oh, that's true.
She's currently languishing somewhere else. I don't even know what her record is, to be honest. But if it's me, that's fine. That's fair. I'm just saying. I'm in 4th place or better. You are playing the part of me right now. where you're going to hang around in that area and then probably do nothing in the playoffs. Because that's been my history.
That's your history.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that spot after not making the playoffs this entire time.
But last year we saw a bunch of 7-7s actually win the damn thing. So I just feel like I just got to make
Just
playoffs.
be in the party.
And I got a chance.
Yeah.
I got a chance. Everybody has a chance. Well, not you, Pinocchio, but everybody else. Everybody else has a chance. 888-368-1580. Seabass says, F your players, Ralph. Is Ralph happy or sad after his Rams beat his Seahawks? He's confused. He's very confused. Raven Kid says, GCU should dominate CSU Fullerton. Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to another place. They're going to leave the WAC, and their GCU is headed
Mountain West.
Yeah, the Mountain West. They should, but it's not going to be just a gimme. That's a pretty good team over there.
Yeah, and you still have to go out there and not overlook your opponent, which we see happen in college sports all the time.
Latina Leprechaun says, "Who's this Rosalie Michaels you talk about? A voice from the past?" Yeah, it's a fantasy girl, Rosalie Michaels. She's was our fantasy football expert for an awful lot of years, and she could probably still come back around and do that again someday. But right now, we got the king of fantasy football. We talked about putting them together and having them do a show. But she was in the Premier League since 2014, and we just started it last year, relegating one of the hosts out to one of the regular Premier Leagues to make more room for a listener to come up in. So she's still our pal. She's just in one of the lower leagues right now, but also she's an actress and a spokesperson and does an awful lot of stuff. So, and she has started traveling around the time that the season would start. So it just made more sense for her to kind of hang out, and we'll let the king handle the business. Free Guy says, "Hey, what's up with the Harrison Jr.? Analytics said to start him over Smith and Jigba. Sad thing is, I would have lost anyway." Well, you never know what you're going to get with Kyler Murray. Now, what's up with Harrison Jr.? He got a case of the oopsies. He dropped a lot of passes.
Yeah. Which was kind of a week one issue that I thought over the course of the season that's going to disappear. And it just popped back up this week.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a rookie, and he's going to need to work on it. There's no question he's going to be great. It's just, man, you get the ball.
You've got to hang on to it. You only have maybe 4 or 5 receptions in a game. They all matter. They're all big. And when people rely on you to be the big playmaker, yeah, that's going to be an issue. And as for the Kyler thing, like I get you could probably ding Kyler a little bit for the 150 yards passing, didn't throw any touchdowns, but there's just the running game. The running game was so good. Why would you throw the ball there?
Sure. And it was very effective, and everybody took a turn. That new kid, that Benson guy, is pretty good. Yeah, and then the avocado, what is his name? Avocado.
Emery DiMarcado.
The avocado is he's good. Guacamole. That's what I'd yell every time he makes a touchdown. Guacamole. Anyway, so yeah, congratulations to the Cardinals. We're going to talk about every single football game that happened yesterday. We're going to get that done. We have no reason to believe we can't achieve this with the full 3-hour show.
Yeah, it just hit me how real that is.
I know, huh?
It just hit me full 3 hours. Yeah, I guess we'll actually have to work today.
I know. All right. T-Licious says, "What's up, mofos? Happy Monday. Never realized how much fun a bye week could be. It's easy to watch football when you just don't care who wins. I'm at a point with the Colts where I just don't care now. And you're right. I mean, I was disappointed, but I had more fun watching other games, and that's fine. I'm kind of at a zen place with my Colts fandom right now. It's just nothing good's going to happen. I mean, so what? We may win a game. We may lose a game. I'm not mad at Flacco. I ain't mad at anything. I'm just kind of like, whatever's going on right now, it doesn't matter. It's just we're either letting Richardson learn on the bench behind Flacco. Flacco's playing. Did not look good yesterday. Maybe he'll look good to him next time. Who knows? I don't know. I can't care right now because all of this has revolved around the education of what is supposed to be your next franchise quarterback. And he is not looking franchise quarterbacky. And, and so I don't have much to look forward to on these games. I don't have much to look forward to next year. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel about this. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag because there is a lot of promise on the team if you just look at the whole roster.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
So we got a great running back. We
yeah.
got a decent wide receiver. We probably could use another marquee wide receiver, but
yeah,
the defense was killing it last night for a bit. And then, you leave them out on the field too long.
and
That's what happens.
I mean, that whole first half, you hold this Vikings offense to a scoreless half. You give up a couple of touchdowns in that third quarter. But if they would have had, I think, some relief over the course
Mhm.
of that half, maybe they don't give up the touchdown late, and who knows? That's a much more competitive football game.
Yep. Yeah. So, whatever. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to care again. That's a bad place to feel. I mean, I know you've probably been through years and years like that, where you're like,
Yeah.
that's over there. That's my team. Whatever. And then you find your enjoyment watching, real teams.
Yeah, and then well, at least I don't know if you're going to ever get to this part in the cycle. I sure hope you don't. Where the team actually suckers you into a little bit of hope. You believe
no.
for a half second, and then you're like, you know what?
Yeah, no, I bet.
Screw that. Why did I get my hopes
I
up?
know better. Everybody else had hope for Mike Holtz when they're like, hey, look, Flacco's going to start. He's good. I'm like, don't, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what's next. I think I'm going to languish for a few years. I think languishing is my future.
Well, it depends on how much Jim Irsay and how much patience he has for the front office right now.
He has more patience than he has brains. Think
Sure.
about that.
I agree with that.
We
He's
will
one of those,
languish for years.
he's one of those owners that moves a little bit slower than you'd like.
And then faster on dumb things. So, oh, well. Kyle G says, that's okay, Jeffrey. I'm the idiot who saw Falcons ranked 27th against the pass rush and started Dak Prescott instead of Lamar Jackson. I am my
Ooh.
league's Cowboys, I guess. So it's fitting. Ouch. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's rough. That is rough. I was worried. God damn. You know what? Remember last week we talked about this, didn't we? Didn't we talk about Olave, who's like, yeah, I'm thinking about maybe wearing the Guardian cap, but I don't know. I got this one of these helmets, this new helmet. They say is pretty good. It's almost as good as the Guardian cap. Maybe I'll just wear that, but I'm still thinking about the Guardian cap. Concussion. He got another damn concussion this weekend. He got, at least this time, last time he got a concussion, I got negative 0.10 points. This time I at least got 2.3.
Yeah, I think with the Guardian caps, it's a little weird because there are some of the NFL medical experts, and I don't know how trustworthy these guys are, that are saying, no, some of these newer helmets are better than a Guardian cap, to the point where they were advising Tua not to wear a Guardian cap with that helmet because it wouldn't help a whole lot. And I'm like, if it helps even by 0.5%, wouldn't you just do it because your brains have been scrambled a bunch already? I'm not understanding why that doesn't help.
Because nobody wants to look like a guy at the group home. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to. They do look a little odd. Some of them look better than others, depending on how the helmet scheme is. They put on the nylon cover over it.
But Achane wears it with the Dolphins, and
it's fine.
It looks fine. Yeah.
Some of them look bad, some of them look good, but I mean, I understand Olave. I might feel the same. So you're saying there's like a 1.5% better if I wear the Guardian cap, but this helmet is 1.5% worse, and I don't look silly.
Basically.
Then I'm good with the 1.5 because I don't feel like that 1.5 would have stopped me from getting the concussion. You never know.
Yeah.
But Olave, boy, I wonder what's going to happen with him.
I don't know.
I wonder if he's going to retire.
How many concussions is this for him?
6.
6? Yeah, we might be reaching medical retirement.
I'm just saying.
You just have to. Like, if your life after football matters to you, the faster you can stop having violent collisions that cause your brain serious damage, the better for you. It's just not everybody is going to be able to make it through a season that way. And, I don't want to blame him for it. I don't know if there's any way he can play differently to protect himself. But if you can't, you just got to get out of the game.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just, look at Tua. Every time Tua goes head first again yesterday. during the game, and we're watching. I'm like, oh, that's gonna go badly. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to see a guy die. And I think some of the players on the defense were like, "To it, no!" And
Yeah,
they were
it's
like,
just like backed up
just-
because nobody wants to be the person known for who's the first NFL player to kill a guy on the field. No one wants that.
Mm-mm.
That's not a.
Wow.
You don't want to be that trivia.
I feel like a Bosa might.
Okay,
Yeah, I
you
think-
know what?
yeah, that guy might.
Maybe Nick.
888-368-1580. Random texter says, I played Olave yesterday during the game and had Flowers from Baltimore on the bench. Oof.
Yikes.
Oof. Yeah, but you know what? Right up until the point he got the concussion, wasn't a bad play.
That's true.
Swazman says, hey, Jeffrey, why don't they all start wearing the sumo wrestling suits, the big old bubble suit? Oh, it's a violent game. They're doing a good job trying to protect the players, but it's a rough game. Yeah. Listen, we're talking about guys when they start to get concussion after concussion, which means there's either something in the way they're playing or they just have bad luck. But the more concussions you get, the badder it is. So if they want to wear a silly looking Guardian helmet until they get the helmets up to speed with that, what's your problem with it? What do you care? It's not your body.
Yeah. And
It's not your head.
And the fact that it's a violent game is why you should probably lean towards safety.
And try having a team where this happens to you all the time. Like, again, with a concussion, dude, let's do something about that. It's not like his first concussion. And I worry about my fantasy football team. The Saints worry about their team. And then this guy worries about his health and brain and life. So, this is probably not the place to start, calling them wussies and bubble wrapping them and those sorts of things.
Yeah. We're not talking about,
Don't touch me.
Yeah. We're talking
I
about
might
guys
yell
that,
that running down the field. Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me. To make the other guy going, what's wrong with you?
that's just uncomfortable.
I don't feel right tackling a lady. How dare you touch me? Don't touch me. I swear to God. What the hell is that? That's weird. But yeah, listen, it's a violent sport. Yes. We got to do what we can to help. Yes. But a Guardian helmet's one of those things. That's it.
Yeah.
Did I say put on a sumo suit? No, shut up. Old man says, what's up? Well, what's up with you, old man? He says, Tyler Murray, 71.4 quarterback rating for the year. 913 for 150-yard quarterback, 28.9. Not working, nor will it ever be successful. Just an old man's opinion. Pull of the week. What are you listeners think? Well, we're going to talk about the Cardinals game a little later, old man. Raven Kid says, hey, can't wait till I can make it back into the Premier League in a non-COVID year. It was just a disaster that year trying to play fantasy. Dude, bull crap. What are you talking about? Fantasy play during COVID was not a big deal. You had lots of extra time to focus on it. How is it harder for you during COVID year? Don't lie to me and say any of your players got suddenly yanked because of COVID. There's the only person that did that was DeMar Hamlin, and it wasn't COVID.
Was that the COVID year that happened?
I think it was, wasn't it? Oh,
I don't think so.
I don't remember anybody getting gacked off my fantasy squad because they had the COVID.
It happened to me maybe once. It didn't happen very often.
He says also, Keon, how about them Buckeyes?
How about them? They did win. I picked Penn State to win that game. Ohio State won by a touchdown.
I'm glad Penn State didn't win. I don't want them to ever have nice things.
It was a bad football game, and honestly, I don't feel like I was hilariously wrong making that pick.
So we are going to talk a little bit about ASU. We're going to talk about the Suns. We're going to talk about a few things real quick when we come back. But then the rest of the time we'll be completely dedicated to talking about the NFL day that was yesterday. So come on back, everybody. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. This update brought to you by Sport Trade. Download the Sport Trade app and use code VSIN to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
NFL Monday Night Football tonight. The Kansas City Chiefs, they are home at Arrowhead Stadium. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kansas City, the only unbeaten team left in the NFL at 7-0 and have won 14 straight Monday night games. Juju Smith-Schuster has been ruled out tonight for Kansas City. The Buccaneers, they've dropped 3 of 4, 4-4 on the year, and will continue to play without wide receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. The Chiefs are a 9-point favorite tonight, minus 425 on the money line. Tampa Bay plus 320 with the over-under of 45.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count. A real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Thursday Night Football is live on The Fanatic.
Cincinnati travels to Maryland to take on the Baltimore Ravens. The season's getting later, and Cincinnati looks to turn things around and string some wins together. Meanwhile, the Ravens look to stay aggressive. Can Lamar and the Ravens hold off Joe Cool and the Cincinnati Bengals? Thursday Night Football, 5:30 this Thursday.
Your home for the NFL in the Valley is 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic and 1580thefanatic.com.
Cincinnati Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. National Candy Day, by the way. So you know what to do. I mean, feels like the wrong day for National Candy Day. Shouldn't that be Halloween anyway?
It just seems late. Yeah.
Or just National Eat All That Candy. I am the candy inspector and candy confiscator. You know, and then I always remind a crying child, hey, house gets 10%. It's just the rules. It's just the rules. I don't make these rules. They're just the rules. So, but you don't ever take their favorite candy.
That's fair.
You don't do that. That'd be cruel and heartless. But National Candy Day. Do you know where the word candy comes from?
No.
So the story of candy begins in India, and between the 6th and 4th centuries BC. Candy was around before Jesus. Anyway, so the Persians and the Greeks learned, hey, you know what the people in India have? The Indians. India Indians,
mm-hmm.
They got reeds that make honey without bees, also known as sugar cane. But that's how they reply. They look.
I guess if you'd never seen it before, that's the only way you could describe it. Yeah.
Look at that reed. It makes honey without bees. So these reeds are sugar cane, which are indigenous to Southeast Asia, and the ancient people in India would boil sugarcane juice. They turn it into little pieces of individual sugar, which they called khanda.
Oh.
So khanda candy, you know how it is. We always massacre everybody else's language when we, speaking in English, or really every language does that to every other language, right? So khanda is candy, and that's where it came from all those years ago.
That's impressive, actually.
Average Joe says it's National Sandwich Day. I didn't see that anywhere. So I don't know. I can either confirm or deny those allegations. What would you rather have? National Sandwich Day or National Candy Day?
I find that the older I get, a good sandwich. I'll take the sandwich.
Yeah, and the minute I said that, I started to question my own thoughts on this.
Like candy is delicious, obviously.
I love candy.
But I don't get full from candy. I have to eat enough candy to make me full would also make me sick.
I'm not trying to get full on candy. I just
Exactly.
like candy.
I just like it. But if I have to choose between one, I
Must be a
like
nice
I
sandwich.
like to have something that tastes good and makes me feel full. I go with the sandwich.
Now, Average Joe, I'm questioning everything. I cannot answer that question. Big George is happy. Hello, gentlemen, Monday. I might not have read those words all in order. He says, thank goodness we're only a day away from this infernal election being over. I am sick of getting calls and texts from Donald J. Trump and Kamala Harris people. By the way, Kamala is correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Kamala, but then somebody gave me a hard time for it.
Who?
I don't remember. They're like, it's not Kamala, it's Kamala. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Kamala. I don't know.
I feel like the difference there is negligible, to be honest, because I've heard both.
I don't care because she ain't in the room to correct me or be upset about it.
And it's not like you're mocking her name. It's one of the ways her name has been commonly pronounced. I don't know.
Like everyone, I'll get around to mocking her name.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage of running for public office.
No, I'm just saying. No, it's not even that. It just, if you have an interesting name, I'm gonna have fun with it.
Yeah.
I've never known a Kamala before or after. I mean, I don't think is that Hawaiian? I don't know. Anyway, George
Indian,
says, big adjustment for me, this show being on an hour earlier, because in California now we're on from 2 to 5. Says, because that's how you guys roll in California. We don't roll anywhere. Is that a fact joke? What the hell, man? Last Optimist says, Colts Jets have flexed at a prime time for Bengals Chargers week 11. Yeah, I saw that. And they're like, yeah, we can't have the Colts back on in prime time again.
We'd rather watch the Chargers.
Yeah. Bring on the Chargers. Well, the Chargers and the Bengals, that will be a nice matchup.
Yeah, that's true. That's two teams that refuse to
Joe
play
Burrow,
defense. Yeah.
famous. Justin Herbert and Mr. Harbaugh, famous. Flacco, sad. The Jets, sad.
Yeah.
Swazman says, Jeffrey, I think Tua should retire. I was just trying to joke around, as you do. Concussions are a serious medical problem. Boy, I didn't even see the joke in that.
The thing is that sometimes it doesn't carry across text.
But I'll you know what? I don't know what to think about Tua. I think Tua hurt everybody. You might think he should retire. Someone else may think he's fine, and I think he should do whatever's best for him. If that was my son, I'd be like, you got to just stop. Please stop. We don't want you to die. If it was me, I'd be like, give me the big bulbous helmet. I'll give it a shot. I'm not going to pass on generational wealth, but at least give me the utmost of things I can use to protect myself. Problem is, you can't protect him from himself because, again, he dove head first right up the middle of the field in a play yesterday and was like, this dude kind of wants to die.
Yeah, but also sometimes head first is the fastest way to get down. So it just ends up being
the fastest way to get down is to get some KC and the Sunshine Band on the speakers.
That's true.
That's the fastest way to get down.
Second fastest way to get down.
Yeah, it's probably but slide. You should slide. You shouldn't be doing that first.
The feet first, but sometimes you're just not in a position to do that. And who
dangerous. Was great? I mean, in the same, who was it? I saw a slide. Sam Icy Ghost Darnold. He slid perfectly.
Yeah, he's actually pretty good at it. But also you see guys like Lamar dives headfirst all the time. The difference is he doesn't dive headfirst into anybody, which is the key there.
Oh, he's smarter about that. I mean, you think
he's just better at it. And I just think that Tua has not had nearly as much time practicing that, and it shows.
Random texture says, Jeffrey, is there a breakdown on how positioning is determined in the pickup contest rules? You just said a lot there that made no sense, but I think I can translate it. He wants to know how the pick'em contest, how it's determined. Are you talking about if a lot of people have the same score? It's done by the tiebreakers. There's a tiebreaker that's installed where you've written in a score or something, right? So I don't know what it is. I just always write 69 because I don't want to win. I don't ever want to be the top person in that week because I don't want to deprive anybody of a prize or anything like that. But okay, so here's what I see. I see you, random texter, and 7 other people are sitting there with the same score. Who knows what'll happen tonight? So all of this will then get determined by your week leader gets determined by the kind of like Price is Right rules, closest without going over wins thing. So the tie will be broken by who got the tiebreaker correct. Now, I'll be honest, I have not talked to poolhost.com to find out, the minutiae of these things, but we're going to go ahead and trust the final determination of the poolhost.com because I just don't want to get yelled at. Simple as that.
That's fair.
How are your picks this week, Keon?
I got 9 so far.
Yeah.
They're not bad.
So as long as I got more than Ralph, I think we're good.
Ralph also has 9.
Oh, yeah, then I do. Yeah. Tied with my wife. I'm just kind of just quickly checking through the parts that matter. That's all that matters. 888-368-1580. He says, I asked because there's 4 of us with one incorrect this week, but it has one guy ahead of the other. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, actually, it's not 4. You're not in second place in reality. You all just happen to be there right now. The final determination of you 8 people who have 13 right, if you all get Kansas City, Tampa Bay right, then we'll go from there. But yeah, I mean, you are right now tied with F the Process, Arizona Ball Girl, Horn Ninja, Reno 911, Pro Dog, Tar Heel, and Bat Flipper. So I wouldn't worry about it. Let's just see what happens when it's all said and done. Baker's Cocky Hen says, you could definitely put dudes in IR due to COVID if that's what you were talking about. Oh, yeah, no, you could, but it never I don't think it happened. Did it? I don't remember seeing
there were some players that got it, but it was rare. It was teams did a really good job of, testing, keeping guys. Anybody that did have it got quarantined almost instantly.
We didn't know it was going to happen because it was COVID. Nobody knew anything, right?
Yeah.
We had like 4 or 5 reserve slots open just in case.
Yeah, because how could you tell?
In case it tore through a team or two. But it never happened, so which is good.
I played fantasy baseball that year. Same thing. Like not a whole lot of guys were knocked out due to COVID. So
yeah, it wasn't as bad as I guess we thought it would be. Average Joe says, how many people died thinking they were boiling sugarcane, but they were actually boiling bamboo, which contains cyanide? Probably not that many.
They're not that similar looking.
But you're right. You would hope that they figured it out where other people were not too close and went, okay, so don't do that.
Because here's the thing, like you can tell right away, the sugar cane just straight up smells like sugar. I've had sugar cane. Guyana is where my family is from, and I've gone back to visit a few times. And like one of the things that people will do is like if you see a stalk of sugar cane, you can just cut it down and just chew on it.
Enjoy.
I mean, you got to spit it out. It's just
right, but
but you could chew on it while it's still sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Oh man, that'd be nice. Hey, Navy Brad just sent me a picture. He's like, hey, look at this. I took my dog Stella for a bath today. She smells a lot better. Oh, it's a good dog. How'd she like the bath? How'd she do with that?
Say some dogs do better than others.
German Shepherd is a lot to kind of handle, or I'm not sure what kind of dog that is. I think it's some sort of Shepherd. If they get squirrely in there, cool, good luck. Bat Flipper says, random texter, you should pick the Bucks because everyone else probably has the Chiefs. No, man, you don't listen to Bat Flipper.
Just pick the team you think is going to win because
the standings matter, the points will matter. Stick with whatever it is and hope you get the tiebreaker.
If you think the team that you picked is going to win, you got to stick with them because if you pivot away from that, you're wrong. Now you're just down 1.
Bat Flipper says, we did that with cocoa leaves where I'm from, Keon.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Is it cocoa or cacao? Are you talking about chewing cocaine? Which one is it?
You can't ask me that. I have no idea.
COCAO. Bat Flipper, you probably need help.
Cacao. Yeah, well, that's the one with the chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Quiet Cannon says, I failed to pump the brakes. Tua could put that in his gravestone.
I hope he doesn't have to. that's a little dark.
No, here's what you put on there. Should have gone feet first.
Oh,
that's what should be on his headstone.
Tua needs to hang out with some baseball players.
Raven Kid says, that brings up another question. How is it decided order-wise before the final tiebreaker is decided? Like it places people in some random order if they have the same score in the middle of the week with no rhyme or reason? That sounds about right to me, Raven Kid. I mean, I can send them an email and ask, but I don't know. Kiss the Cook says Tua has two options: head first and another concussion, or slide first and pop out his janky hip.
I don't get that text, but Tua does. He came into the league at least with a bad hip. It wasn't
janky. I've never heard janky before.
No. Yeah, just
I don't know if he spelled something wrong,
no,
or is that a thing?
That's a thing.
I've never heard that thing.
Just means busted.
Janky.
Broken.
I like janky.
You usually use it to describe something that just looks bad.
Right.
You usually wouldn't describe that as
like your janky jalopy.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, I got a new word. Thank you, Kiss the Cook. Is that one of those words I wasn't supposed to get yet?
I don't
remember what all the idiot white people did with woke. That was not a word we should have ever known. That was a cool word, and then it got destroyed.
I know that it's look, when words spread, sometimes the meanings change, then you just got to find a new word.
Is janky okay? Because I don't want to ruin another one.
It's already out there.
Okay.
It's already out there. So
right. I like janky. I'm gonna have fun with that. At least it's not connected to anything cultural or political or anything like that. Neither was woke originally, but whatever. Random texter said, I'm sorry, Raven Kid says, random texter wouldn't pick any team over the Chiefs, even if it was a dream team of NFL players. He's instantly locking in the Chiefs. That's a fan for it.
That's a fan. And look, they're undefeated. They've got an incredible defense. I know that Patrick Mahomes hasn't looked the best this year, but he's still Patrick bleeping Mahomes. If there was a team you could do that for, that'd be the team.
Yep. No, that's, I'm not going to stop picking them until they give me a reason not to. And so far, ain't seen it.
Exactly.
Moldy Tuna Fish says, I lived in my mom's basement for about 3 years during COVID-19 pandemic. I have a compromised immune system, and the vaccine side effects could have killed me too. So I had to avoid it at all costs. It's nice being out and about again. Well, see, you got a reason to avoid a vaccine. Yeah, I guess. I mean, worrying about that. That's fair. I'm chock full of the vaccine.
Yeah.
After what Ralph did to me.
I just had friends who had it where it was just so bad they were struggling to breathe and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. You're 27. That really is weird that that's happening to you. I'll just go ahead and make sure I don't get that.
I don't know if I'm going to crap dice someday because of the vaccine, but right now I'm not. Yeah. They're like, oh, it's going to do things to your heart. Yeah. So does that food I eat.
But also so does the virus.
Yeah.
The reason why the vaccine does things to your heart is because the virus does. And so like it's the same. It's not even the same risk. It's actually worse if you get the virus. So I don't know, man.
I know this ain't the place to argue for or against these things. I'm just like, we did what we did.
Yeah. Do listen.
You did what you did. We did what we did. And it was just a matter of trying to get through it. That's life, isn't it?
That's pretty much it.
As Prince said, we're all just trying to get through this crazy thing. Or was that Freddie Mercury? Yeah, dang. Whatever Freddie Mercury and Prince said, just go with that. Baker's Cocky Hen says cacao is chocolate. Interesting little known fact. Eat enough raw cacao and you will hallucinate.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll be hallucinating, dreaming of sugar because cacao by itself is very bitter. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that. I know nothing about it outside of it makes chocolate.
Till you add sugar, that stuff is nasty. Walter Mellon says, I had my 3-year-old daughter do the picks this week. She got 10 right based on what she liked. Way better than me overcomplicating things. Pretty cool. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to work every week, man.
Not every week, but hey, if you got one good week out of it.
You live by it, you'll die by it. Yes, Big George, we're going to talk about that when we come back. We are going to talk about ASU. We're going to talk about the Suns. We're now starting to tickle the idea that we still won't have enough time to talk about all the NFL games that happened over the weekend, but we'll do what we can. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Carrie Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Carrie Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
The Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. By the way, I still have 1 pair of tickets and a parking pass for tomorrow night's game. ASU versus Idaho State in the ASU basketball home opener. And so I'll tell you what, I'll do a random number generator at the end of this hour. Just text me in, hey, I want to go to the ASU home opener. 2 tickets and a parking pass will be yours. I had to double check. Yes, 2 tickets and a parking pass. So just text in, ASU game, I want to go. And then at the end of the hour, I'll pick the winner and we'll let you know. 888-368-1580. So the Phoenix Suns are playing the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Am I changing the way I look at this because Paul George is playing? Or is this looking pretty good for the Suns still?
I think it's still looking pretty good for the Suns. I mean, especially if you're not going to have the anchor of that Philadelphia defense, Joel Embiid.
I didn't know. Okay.
Which Embiid hasn't played yet this season.
Oh, that's right.
And he's dealing with some kind of an injury that seems to be lingering. That's the story of Joel Embiid, I guess. So this is going to be, I believe, the first game with Paul George, if I'm not mistaken about that. Yeah, like they both weren't playing. So Paul George is finally back and ready to go. Obviously, he does make the 76ers better, can get Tyrese Maxey some help, but the way that the Suns have been playing basketball, it's been really good to see this team start to gel. The ball's moving around. Guys are being really unselfish. The defense looks a whole lot better as well. And, it's good to see the big 3 actually look like a big 3, which is pretty cool. We didn't get a whole lot of that last year.
Really, not even any of it, because it seemed like, we're starting to get our chemistry together. He's injured. Or we're trying to get our chemistry together. It just never seemed to get a chance to see it. So that's encouraging that we'll at least get a chance to, kind of see how it is. 888-368-1580. And let's see here. Big George, calm down. We're talking about it. Just, stop yelling at me. Everything's fine. How are you? 888-368-1580. So the 76ers tonight was, it was nice to, it was always nice to get a win they still only have lost one game so far. So that feels nice. It feels good.
Yeah. This time last year, we were like, how long do we have to wait before they get it right? And then 20 games in, we were asking the same question. And about 30 games in, we were still asking the same question. So for them to have at least be ahead of the curve of last year, you're not trying to write them into a title game or anything, but like they've clearly improved, I think, over a year ago.
I've lost some of my papers. Oh, here it is. Got it. Yeah. They kind of got scrambled up here a little bit. There it is. Yeah. So Booker had 28. Durant had 21 over the Trailblazers. Yeah. Just nothing but tears. Nothing but tears for DeAndre Ayton. 10 points, 13 rebounds. Oh.
Yeah. And it was typical DeAndre Ayton stuff. There are games where the guy just looks unstoppable. Not games, moments where the guy looks unstoppable. And you're like, wow, if you did that, you'd still be here. And
he's
then
only stoppable in this little space between his ears.
Yeah.
That's where he's the most stoppable.
And the moments where he looks completely useless out there, you're like, that's why you're not here. Just yikes. I mean, it's just one of those things. I understand why Portland took the gamble on him, but it's backfiring.
So let me ask you there, you're drinking the tears of DeAndre Ayton and drinking the tears of your opponents, drinking the tears. If you've watched sports and you're any kind of a passionate rival fan, you might have heard somebody say, I will drink your tears,
Yeah. Dallas fan tears are delicious.
Do you mean that?
Cowboys fans? Yeah.
You mean that literally?
Yes.
Because that'd be a little weird, but you actually
it's very strange, but
would you drink the actual tears of a Dallas fan?
I would chug it.
Fireball Whiskey has started. They're going to do something called, I'm not making this up, Crier Ball, which embraces competitive spirit by blending Fireball with actual human tears of losers. They're going to 6 big rivalry games this month, 3 college football games, 3 NFL games, and they're going to have people stationed at the exit where the last losing fans to please donate their tears. Every drop will be captured and stored and sealed in sterile jars and safely transported to a secure facility and storing and distillation. They suggest it might taste saltier, but they're going to put that into the Fireball whiskey. The process will take months. Bottles of Crier Ball will be made available in time for next year, the 2025-2026 season. And I'm not really sure how the rollout's going to happen. But so again, if it's Cowboy tears, will you drink the Crier Ball?
Absolutely.
That's nasty.
It's disgusting, but also
it's kind of gross.
It's if it tastes like victory,
How do you keep the herpes and AIDS out of it?
I don't know. I don't think that's how either of those diseases.
I'd need a promise there's no herpes or AIDS in there.
I don't know that you can transfer either of those diseases that way, but
I'm just saying it's
good to confirm, I guess. Yeah. I don't want to be reckless about it, but
wow, you really hate the Cowboys.
Yes.
So you'll drink Cowboy tears.
Being
Eagles tears?
Yes.
Giants tears?
Yeah, less so.
So Cowboys or Eagles tears, you're like look.
Easily. Being a Washington fan in Texas, no, I hate the Cowboys. Can't stand the Cowboys.
This is how you know you're on the wrong side of something. Moist One says that is so effing nasty.
I'm not
Moist One.
I'm not here to talk about whether or not it's not disgusting. I agree that it's disgusting, but also it's the tears of my enemies, and I will enjoy that. Yeah.
I feel like this is your year to drink them. I feel like this is the year.
Is it finally?
Yeah.
Yeah. If the Commanders 2-0 the Cowboys and someone can capture Cowboy fan tears, yeah, I'm drinking it.
Moist One makes a good point. How do you keep the eye crust out? You don't. It ends up around the.
You don't.
Where you screw top there. The crustiness there is just that's also that's eye boogies.
I assume that's all part of the flavor.
CK says Keon is liberal. He's used to drinking bodily fluids.
I don't understand what that has to do with being a liberal. I just do not understand what that means.
Shut up, CK. Slow Mo Zoe says, Jeffrey, would you drink the Yankee tears? No, I want nothing to do with it. No, I wouldn't drink any bodily fluid from anyone else. I mean, there is a lifetime of bitter hatred, which I understand, for Keon. But I hate them so much, I want no part of them in me.
I like I don't hate the Giants enough for that.
Yeah.
Like it's disgusting enough that if I don't really hate you, like I don't like the Mets. Like I really don't like the Mets. I wouldn't drink Met fan tears. It's just
I
not
wouldn't drink Dodger fan tears.
Yeah, it's just not that strong. But I don't have the words. In fact, not only do I not have the words have never been created in any human language of which I am aware to express how much I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I am laughing so hard at them every day that they continue to exist this season. It's been great. If I have the chance to drink the tears of those people, 100% I would do it. What does this have to do with being liberal? Nothing. I hate that team.
Yeah, and I'm not so much a germaphobe. I just don't. I
just can't do it.
No, thank you. Like I've made out with a crying girl before. I wasn't the reason she was crying, so I know. But it's not. I've said too much. Bat Flipper says, I will toast with Keon the Cowboy tears.
Thank you.
Get a bottle of that if it's one of the teams, right?
Get the crier bottle. But see, now they have to guarantee it. Any fan loser tears is not going to work for me. I don't want to drink any losers tears. I want it to be Dallas specifically.
Well, it's better if it's Dallas specifically having lost to your team.
To the Commanders.
You guys
also
play again this year, right?
We haven't played yet this year.
We're going to play twice.
We're going to, yeah.
So one of those, this has to come from one of those.
Yeah. And I hope we skunk
Who's leaving crying after a game? Like a normal NFL game, maybe college.
Yeah, college
because kids are stupid.
Yeah, and you've got and the emotions are just higher in college.
Kids are stupid.
In the NFL, it's hard. Especially if your team is like this Cowboys team where they're already bad.
Like if the Lions made it to the Super Bowl and lost, I would bet a bunch of their fans would be crying.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything against them.
That's painful. That's the most painful place for a team that hasn't been there to lose a game.
Part two of this is who's stopping to let them collect those tears?
That's the part I'm struggling to understand.
Unless they're waving around some serious money.
It's going to need to be certified. I'm going to need to see.
I can generate some tears for you if it's a nice check.
Yeah, are the people going to cry for you for free? Like that seems a little presumptuous.
Yeah, they got to be waving around some money, I think, on that. Let's see. Scratch Me Because says, I bet it was Filthy Phil who made that girl cry. This was high school. What are you talking about?
There's not even how the timelines don't match up at all there.
Raven Kid says, this is strictly Michigan Wolverines or New York Yankees tears thing for me. So you will drink, though, either Michigan Wolverine or Yankees tears.
There you go.
Latina Leprechaun says, does Keon realize that human tears are very salty? It's like taking a sip of the Great Salt Lake. Wait, what? When have you done that? So maybe you are a vampire and love dehydrating human bodies with salt, or you're pulling things out of your hiney. By the way, I like that you're either a vampire or a liberal.
Or a liberal.
What if he's a liberal vampire?
See, now that's your worst nightmare.
That's scary
First
as hell.
of all, but also, I understand how salty human tears are, because I was a child and I've cried before. I know how salty they are. I think what you're underestimating is how much I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I really don't think you're not grasping what I'm saying. I'm not saying the tears will be delicious because they're tears. I'm saying they'll be delicious because of the Cowboys' involvement in all of this. Mm-hmm. It has to be as a result of the Cowboys losing, presumably horrifically, in such a way that a big portion of their fan base is crying.
Still 100% no for me, though.
I understand that. Like your hate has to overcome just the absolute. It's inconvenient.
See, here's how my
potentially
hate would
unsanitary.
There's a crying Yankees fan. I just not drinking their tears and pushing them into traffic. Their eyesight is already a little blurry.
I don't want to push you into traffic. I want to laugh at you next year.
People's hates manifest differently. That's all I'm going to say.
True. That's true.
All right, guys, that's 1 hour down and 2 to go. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Sports betting apps are not created equal. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here to talk about the Sport Trade advantage. With higher payouts, Sport Trade is the ultimate sports betting experience. Sport Trade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's changing in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, then Sport Trade is for you. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. And if you're an experienced bettor and prefer American odds, you'll get pricing closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110, coupled with instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. So download Sport Trade today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it. All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. He should be in tomorrow, but we got Keon Rose in the control room, and we got you guys on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. The text line's doing weird things here. There it is. Okay, I see it now. All right. Okay. I have an unnamed person who won those ASU tickets. They were just somebody who texted in, but they don't have a text or nickname. So I'll be corresponding and interacting with them here later on. So if you have a text or nickname, you did not win. If you don't have a text or nickname, you might have won. I can't guarantee it. So I'm just saying, be patient. I'll be with you shortly. And so there, 888-368-1580. People are still texting in about the fact that Keon would drink the tears, the literal actual tears of a Cowboys fan or an Eagles fan, because the Fireball whiskey people are saying they're going to put it together. They're actually going to go and collect tears from people at games when they lose for a new whiskey called Cryerball whiskey. I would not drink these things.
They'd have to certify it though. Like it's not tears. I'm not interested in just drinking generic tears.
Maybe, I mean, it is silly. It is a little bit silly on my part. It's maybe hypocritical. Maybe I don't know what you want to call it, but I did get the COVID vaccine. So why wouldn't I drink the Cryer Ball? The Cryer Ball whiskey has less a chance of affecting my health than probably taking them COVID vaccines did.
But it doesn't vaccinate you.
There's no
upside.
Will I be vaccinated against Yankee fans? I don't think I will.
I don't think you will be.
I'm not doing it then.
But
I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, like there's no upside to drinking the tears if you're already.
You just want to moo ha 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 ha. That's all you want.
This is as close to actually consuming the suffering of the fan base that I hate the most as I'm going to actually get to do.
I respect that you have that passion. I passionately hate the Yankees. I'm just not drinking anything that comes out of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Quiet Cannon says, Keon, there's no doubt. How you feel about the Cowboys. What are some of the reasons behind that hatred? By the way, we are on the same page.
My main reason is just my entire childhood. I started watching football in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., became a fan of the Washington football team. And then my dad, who was in the Army, moved to Texas. And all I got was crap from Cowboys fans. Even when the Cowboys weren't good, the Cowboys were horrific. And I would still get crap because my team was either just as bad or worse. And there was no mercy. It was absolutely relentless, and it was constant, and it was everywhere that I went. So anytime bad things happen to the Cowboys, nothing brings me more joy than when the Cowboys falter, suffer.
Excellent.
I'm watching them this season. This is probably one of my favorite Cowboys seasons. Though the season where they actually thought they were going places and then Tony Romo played them out of a playoff spot, that year is up there. That's top notch. That is why I hate the Cowboys. It's just been a lifetime of my interaction with that fan base. Giants fans actually aren't that bad. Eagles fans, though, because Washington and Philadelphia not that far apart. And I say this that my father's no longer with us, but he was an Eagles fan, and we had some epic moments.
So this is great for you, though. This is great for you because you're not only are the Cowboys suffering, your team is doing great.
Yeah.
Hey, so it's not just you're like suffering with them going, ha, welcome to the gutter. Yeah. You're like,
how's the weather down there?
Yeah, that's nice. Seabass says, why is Keon yelling? Because the COVID vaccine makes you yell. I'm just kidding.
I don't even think I was yelling.
He said, he's yelling about the Cowboys. Please continue. I approve.
Oh, I'm not mad about the Cowboys. I've never been more pleased.
Mm-hmm. Donnie wants to know, Keon, would you I got to slow down thinky wheel here, which is not, something you associate with Donnie, to be honest. Thinky.
Oh boy.
He says, Keon, would you rather have the Dallas Cowboys never win a Super Bowl the rest of your lifetime, or a certain politician win the election and be president for the next 4 years and beyond?
Like what, the politician of my choosing? Because you could probably guess, but I'm not going to sit here and say.
I'd rather have the Cowboys lose.
I'd rather have the Cowboys never win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Here's the thing, everybody. Can I tell you why I'm here today? I'm here today because I had to be here for a little meeting, and then I had for a little technical stuff. But I'm also here today, actually in the studio, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what kind of riots might break out, traffic snarls, what sort of silliness is going to happen because everybody's losing their damn minds over this election. So I figure today's a good day to come in. And then tomorrow, the next day after, the next day after that, whether this becomes the movie Civil War or everybody has a moment and calms the hell down, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not leaving the house till the smoke clears.
Which, if you have the option to do it, do it.
And so here's the other part of that, though. I don't care. Don't care who wins, because here's the thing that just cracks me up. And we're not going to get political. This is not a place to bash one or bash the other. they are not that important to the actual workings of this country. You guys are. Just like you guys are more important to the actual workings of this show. The regular folks out there, the people, and then the corporations, that's what runs this country. Not these idiots you're getting ready to vote for, and you're like, oh, I got ugh in one hand, I got ugh in the other.
I did a lot of research on like the down ballot stuff because honestly, that affects your day-to-day life a whole lot more.
I voted no on more than a couple of judges after some research had been done. So here's the thing. Yeah, you can't. This is so funny. There's presidents who have taken credit for economies that they didn't have anything to do with. And then there's presidents who have been beat up for economies that they didn't have anything to do with. They just happen to be in the right or the wrong place at that time when just the economy drives the economy. The corporations run everything. So, I don't get too bent out of shape about who's that. Now, yeah, plus minus some moron who could get us into a war or blow some stuff up or put us in a position of crazy on this side or weakness on that side. Sure. Those are things that matter and you got to think about and consider. But in general, they ain't going to change your life much. Whatever is happening tomorrow, calm the hell down. Calm down.
Yeah.
Do you vote what you think? You're not talking anyone else into anything. You're not talking anybody else into anything. There's no reason to get mad at your neighbor, to go and riot, to go start troubles one way or the other.
Yeah, that's the reason why the political ads just get annoying, right, to everybody, because there's no amount of Ruben Gallegos is a wolf or Carrie Lake is a liar that's going to change anybody's mind. If you already planned on voting for Carrie Lake, no one was going to talk you out of voting for Carrie Lake.
They
were going to do it.
The Ruben Gallegos being a wolf thing, they should have had like Duran underneath.
Oh,
Hungry like the wolf.
That's true.
Not even the words,
just
the
riff.
part where you hear where you go, in the background.
Missed opportunity.
I'm just saying,
Missed
a little music.
opportunity.
Yeah. So let's try not to riot tomorrow. That's all I'm asking. Can anybody just not? And you can write me in for anything. If you haven't voted yet, feel free to write me in for anything. If I just happen to dumb luck get enough votes, yeah, all right. Depends on what it is. I'll do it. So, but just in case, I'm not leaving the house for a while. Till the coast is clear. And this thing is over.
Hey, wish me luck.
Yeah, man. I wish you could work from home too.
Yeah. Just I got to physically be here. So
we did it. Randy and I figured it out during COVID before you came here. You came here during COVID, right?
Just after.
Oh, okay.
Just after.
We had figured out a way to do everything remotely. It was a little choppy, a little ugly, but we actually got through a show and then we're like, no, we can't do this. But
like that's not like a last resort kind of deal.
Maybe we could figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 602 Pats fan says Jeffrey for Emperor. Thank you. Yes, please write me in. I'm good. Yeah, Emperor is. I could fix so much stuff. Hamilton Porter sent me over signs you are no longer relevant. I'm just glad it wasn't about me. 1-22 is Penn State's record versus AP top 5 teams since 2000. Wow.
That's a long time.
God. Nobody's looking for stats like that about us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
That's just no fun
at least this year for ASU, you can. No one has to dig that up.
Cam Scadaboo for president. Write him in.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. Well, he counted for them. ASU is now bowl eligible for the first time since 2019. I mean, I don't care about bowls, but that just shows you. I mean, we were 3-9 last year, right?
Yeah.
Now we're 6-3.
He's doubled the wins.
Wait, we're 6-2. Or are we 7-2?
6-2.
6-2. There we go.
Yeah.
Still great. This is great. Listen, we're not going to win a championship. Probably not going to be anything like that. But hey, this team played very nicely. Did you watch any of the game?
I did.
And it's two-parter. It was a two-parter.
Yeah.
Because of the weather delay,
we had an intermission.
Yeah. We left the house and it was in weather delay. And then we were over at a restaurant and all of a sudden came back on.
Yeah. I caught the second half.
Nice.
Actually. Yeah.
So, great game for ASU. I mean, what does this mean anything?
It does. Yeah.
Does it mean more that Oklahoma State is in a whirlpool of suckage, or does it mean that Arizona State University is actually doing pretty good?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, Oklahoma State is just spiraling right now, which is why that game was so important for the Sun Devils to win, because like you just have this team that's on the ropes. They thought they were going to be better than they were this year. They started off the season 3-0, I believe, and then it's just been a nightmare since.
Who
then
are you,
for
the
them.
Saints?
I mean the Saints, Seahawks,
Couple of them, right? Yeah, a couple
there's
of them.
There's a few teams like that, and Oklahoma State is one of them, and they're right up there with Kansas as one of the best teams in the Big 12 on paper. They just haven't been winning games, and that's what it's all about.
Well, ASU needs to win some conference games. That's where we are, needing to do better. But I mean, it puts us middle upper pack of the Big 12. Sorry to use the word pack. That was a mistake.
Still probably a little sore.
Yeah, ASU is 6-2 and 3-2 in conference. If we put another couple of conference games together, that looks even better. So I mean, listen, hey, any W is a W. Any win's a win, and I'm happy about that. 888-368-1580. Hamilton Porter says, so are my Lions the team to beat in the NFL? No. It's tonight. It's the Chiefs.
Still the Chiefs.
What are you talking about? You don't worry. Pat on the head. You're still good, man.
Look, you've got the best offense in football. That's not nothing.
But you also lost a game. Guess who hasn't? The Chiefs. So stay tuned. Stand by. You're still totally up there and in the running. Moist One says Lions are the team to beat in the NFC for sure. Yeah, Hamilton Porter, you just asked us the wrong question. 602 Pats fan says, hey, Keon, what happened to Michigan?
What do you mean? What happened to them?
You mean like the state?
The school of this Michigan, the school,
right. Michigan State, Michigan, the sad place where everybody's pale.
Like they've just been underachieving all season long. So I'm trying to understand the question as though nothing new is happening to them.
He says, yes, the school.
Well, okay. The only reason why I asked the school is because they've been underachieving this entire season. So it's like it's not a new development as to what happened to them.
Maybe he just wants to know in general.
It's just
what in general is wrong with them?
In general, what's wrong with them, or I guess I could be a little specific, actually. The quarterback problem is the problem with them. Like they don't really have one. They're cycling between guys.
Does Tom Brady have any eligibility left?
I don't believe he does.
Okay.
Don't believe he does. But yeah, no, they're cycling between guys. They can't really figure out what their offense is. What's the identity of the Michigan Wolverines? Nobody knows. That every week they show up, they try to do something else. Maybe this week they're trying to throw the ball downfield. I guess that's not working. I guess we're going to try power football this week. Oh, I guess we can't do that anymore. Like it's just they have to find an identity and win, lose, or draw. Stick with it so that the guys on that roster know what the hell they're doing from week to week. That's my biggest issue with what Sharon Moore has been doing, because otherwise I think that like the guys in the locker room believe in him, but it's not going to last that long if he's not winning.
There you go. Slow-mo Zoe says a regular glass to drink the tears of your enemies will not do. It requires a human skull. Again, no.
It's a little,
for me.
That's a bridge too far, I think.
Maybe a glass that looks like a skull would be good.
Designed to look like a human skull.
You listeners always like to take things just a little bit further, don't you?
Yeah. And I already thought this was a little bit too far, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Walter Mellon says Keon going back in years. That's a special vintage tier that year. Extra bitter loss. Oh.
The Tony Romo botched snap against the Seahawks that caused them to lose that playoff game at the very last second, that they would have won because the field goal it was a chip shot. He was going to make it.
That for Keon, that's a 3-week erection.
That was a great year of Cowboys whining.
Mr. Pink Eye says, I hear it's safe to drink urine. Well, enjoy that.
Good for you.
Maybe mix it with urine and tears and you won't get sick.
I really
grosser and grosser as we go.
Really don't need that aspect of it because anybody can just urinate for any reason. The crying is specific to suffering. The suffering is what I'm looking for. Keep the other stuff.
D Banks After Dark. That's a great text, and I'm going to save that for when we talk about that game. Hefty Lefty says, are they going to make a drink out of the blood and tears of Dodger fans that are down a few digits after celebrating? You do not want Chunk O dude, blowing his hands off with the firework. No. Scratch Me Because says, I will vote for any candidate who's willing to pass a constitutional amendment banning the man bun. Oh, I'll do that. I'll promise that right now. I promise right now I will ban the man bun. I think it's one of the worst things I ever saw. Worst thing I ever saw.
I don't really care.
No, I'll ban the hell out of that thing.
Yeah.
Swazman says Penn State and all the other teams should probably end up stepping aside. My bet is Ohio State versus Oregon rematch in the national championship.
In the national championship? Wait, you think Ohio State's making it to the national? No, that's Oregon absolutely could wind up.
Did you just want to hear him yell?
Ohio State?
Because that's what's going to happen. He's going to start shouting now.
I'm not even upset. It's more I'm just stunned. I can't believe
what?
There's a human being who thinks this Ohio State team, and I understand the record is 7-1, but I watched this team fight for its life against much weaker competition, quite frankly, than what should have been. I do not trust this team to get that far. I'll just say that and move on.
I think Swazman just like to see if he can get the. We should have like a thing on screen of your blood pressure. I think everybody just likes to try to bing, like hitting the thing when you're doing the strongman thing with the hammer.
I guess that one's just shocking to me more than anything. I just jumped in my chair a little. What do you mean Ohio State in a national championship game this year? No, not this year.
Donnie says, F the Lions, F the Vikings. The Vikings acting like they did something. And you got a soft ass schedule. You're going to pile on a couple more wins, and you're just going to just lose in the playoffs immediately. Donnie, F the Lions. While you're at it, F you. Swave Dave says, Jeffrey taking it a bit too far. Did you forget who your audience is? We're the fourth dementia. You're the fourth dimension. I don't think we ever call you the fourth dementia. Although the older we get, the more that makes sense. There's your fourth dementia. Average Joe says, hearing Keon say he drank a person's tears makes me think he probably bought Belle Daphne's bathwater. I don't know what that means.
These two things are entirely unrelated. I'm not interested in anybody's bathwater.
Who's Belle? I
actually don't know. I don't know who that person is, but it's okay because you said bathwater, and that's got nothing to do with the hell we're talking about.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna shut this off right away.
Okay. All right.
Didn't show any naughty pictures. I got the safe search on to keep me out of trouble, but that's a porn star.
Okay. All right.
Shame on you, Average Joe, for knowing who that is.
For knowing who that is by name, and also knowing that her bathwater was for sale. You're more likely to drink it than me. Who the hell is that?
Average Joe also says, just a reminder, Arizona finished ranked number 11 last year. I can still hear them falling. Yes. Did they lose this week?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's awesome. Who beat them?
Hold on.
I wasn't even paying attention to them. He has to look it up. That's how bad U of A is. He had to look up who beat them.
It's funny because I actually caught the tail end of the game, and I just completely
Probably a group of math tutors or something. Hallen Porter says, Keon, everyone from the inbred state of Ohio thinks they're already won that natty.
Okay, well, it'll be a shock to them when the national championship is handed to someone else. But yeah, it was UCF actually who ASU plays next week. UCF beat Arizona 56-12.
Is this UCF ranked? Or is this a good team, right?
Man, they're 4-5.
Oh, so we should
like they're not like a bad team. They're another one of those underachieving squads, but but they shouldn't beat you 56-12 if you think you're any good.
Wow. I love how bad Arizona is right now.
They're terrible.
I love it. That's better than tiers of opponents. Hallen Porter says, friendly reminder, Cowboys have not won a divisional playoff game since 1995.
Feels
good. It's almost 30 years. Almost 30 years.
Magnifique.
Latina Leprechaun says, who's this Donnie guy and why does he sound like a douchebag? You have just answered part of your own question. Yeah, he's just a listener like you and likes the Vikings and trolling everybody and hating on Arizona. I think I pretty much did.
That pretty much can dish it, can't take it well, that kind of thing.
Yeah. He's a guy he has a lovely family, which I think more and more he probably doesn't deserve. Moist One says, Keon, come on. They lost by 1 point at Oregon, who had 3 extra possessions. Oregon is not way above Ohio State suddenly.
I think there's a lot of teams above Ohio State. It's not suddenly. I think look, it's just they played really well in that game, but I'm not talking about just that game. I'm talking about all the other games Ohio State would have to play. This is a 12-team playoff year. I don't trust this team to make it to a national championship. I just don't.
Coom says it's public knowledge that Belle Delphine's bathwater was for sale.
It's public knowledge, but also to people who are degenerates and maybe listen. I don't know who porn stars are, and you know why?
I still don't know who she is.
I have sex with people. I don't need porn. I could just
Keon has sex with lots of people. Sometimes it's a surprise to them.
Hold on, that's wow. No, we didn't. Nope, that's not really where we were going with that. And I have a girlfriend right now, and that's where that happens. I don't really need to know the names of porn stars. What?
Mm-hmm.
It might be public knowledge, but the only people who know it are like people with an addiction. Maybe folks.
People with a what?
What? With a porn addiction.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Just maybe go ahead and keep that between you and your internet service provider. Don't try to rope me into it. I just like suffering. I don't know where you're coming from on this at all.
Coom says, no, she's an influencer, not a star from nudie films.
Okay, well, I don't know who that is. So why does it matter?
Well, we're running late for a break, so this will give Keon a chance to send a quick text to his girlfriend after what I did. And we'll come back with more of the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, your prayers. He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Thursday Night Football is live on The Fanatic.
Cincinnati travels to Maryland to take on the Baltimore Ravens. The season's getting later, and Cincinnati looks to turn things around and string some wins together. Meanwhile, the Ravens look to stay aggressive. Can Lamar and the Ravens hold off Joe Cool and the Cincinnati Bengals? Thursday Night Football, 5:30 this Thursday.
Your home for the NFL in the Valley is 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic and 1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. We got to start talking about the games, man. I think the super fans of the Fourth Dimension are intentionally trying to distract us because they like it when we don't get anything done.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Well, that's good. I'm sorry, I just looked up on the screen there, Monday Night Football. I'm glad to see Jason Kelce still got a job. There, I was worried that he was going to get canceled.
For what?
Did you hear what happened?
No.
So Jason Kelce, right? He was in State College, Pennsylvania for the Penn State-Ohio State game, right? And he's walking along, minding his own business outside of Beaver Stadium. And so then this guy is walking behind him, starts yelling about his brother, trying to get a rise out of him. And he used a homophobic slur. He says, Kelce, how does it feel that your brother is the F word for the homosexual thing, right? Yeah, your brother is an F word dating Taylor Swift. Jason turned around, looked at like, who the hell said that? Guy was standing there with his phone up. So he's obviously just trying to get raised. He grabbed the phone and spiked it on the ground, destroyed it. Then he picked it up again. He kept the phone. And the idiot asked for his phone back. Jason said, who's the F word now? So here's the thing. It's not a great look.
No.
But if you're going to use a slur at somebody, you could replace that for any number of things. And if somebody calls you that and you're like, yeah, well, who's the F word now? Or who's the this now? Or who's the that now? Are you really using that? You're not using it as a slur. You're mirroring it back to the person who used it evilly as a slur, right? I mean, I guess you can't.
No,
it's not universally applicable, though, is it?
It's not.
There are some things you.
It's
should.
not because some words come to mind that would just still not be okay. So
no, I got you on that one.
But that being said, I do think
I
that
wasn't
for
even
me,
thinking about that.
It was a heat of the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I have a little bit more empathy for it, which is like somebody's just kind of in your face being confrontational. You're not supposed to say it, but I can also understand like in that moment just reacting, and it's a little bit of like a hair trigger reaction, and you just say it. I don't think that Jason Kelce, if he had time to sit down and reason out what he was saying, would have used those words.
Another part of this, and it doesn't ever excuse using slurs, I guess, but Big George says you forgot the part where the guy shoved Jason Kelce. He was the aggressor. Kelce did nothing wrong. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have said that, though.
Yeah,
I don't want to see him get canceled over it.
I just don't think
it was just a snap, quick response to a guy, and it wasn't like he was calling somebody that directly. He was just responding to something that was said. You're right. There's bigger versions of that that are harder to walk back from.
Yeah, and it's again, it's like one of those things where, like, first off, there are people that quote unquote get canceled and they're just fine. Like they say they've been canceled, but it's like you still have a comedy special, man. Like, it's
right. You're not canceled if you can make rent.
Yeah, like you're still incredibly wealthy and you still have work. Like I think you're going to be all right. And for quite frankly, things that are much more intentional than what Jason Kelce did. So I can't imagine that this is something that's going to end him or
see. He needs security though, because if people are just trying to get a rise out of him, and they're going to start talking and shouting stuff at him and using slurs, and is trying to say, you talk about my family, that's where it was. You talked about my bud. He loves his brother. If you talk about my brother, you're going to get a punch in the face, and he can't do that. He can't do that. So he's got to surround himself with some security. Donnie says he opened up the show tonight apologizing already. Apologizing just for saying it, not apologizing for doing Gronk smash on this bigot's phone, right?
Quite frankly, the guy deserved worse than what he actually got.
Listen, if I were your emperor and I saw this video and Kelce turned around and didn't say anything, just punched him in the face, I'd been like, innocent. And if he got a bruise on his hand, then the other guy should pay for it. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, okay. So yeah, more info on that, Donnie. Hamilton Porter says James Franklin also got into it with a fan. Clearly some hostility in the fans at Penn State. It's just a bunch of trolls trying to get a rise just so they get it on social media.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Because it's not just a Penn State thing. Like I know, like earlier this year, there was a guy that was just heckling Charles Barkley, and
well, people have been heckling him forever.
But like specifically, he was just walking down the sidewalk, kind of minding his own business, going to the TNT area, and some guy just ran up on him with the phone and started screaming at him for how he didn't have any championships and all this other stuff. And I don't understand it. I don't get it.
People are just trying to get something on their little video that they can sell, or they can give them clicks and likes.
Yeah.
And it's just, you gotta have security. Jason Kelsey wants to be a man of the people, and he goes out and he drinks with them, parties with them. And you knew that was only going to last so long before he was going to start having to get some people around him. Hamilton Porter says, why would you try to antagonize someone who's 3 times your size? Because there might be a paycheck at the end of that. If he punches you in the face, now you sue and you got a video. You know what I'm saying? People are just garbage, Hamilton. People are garbage. And this guy is garbage. The guy who antagonized Mike Tyson on the plane, he is garbage. Mike Tyson also garbage. But when you antagonize, you should get nothing.
Yeah, Mike Tyson also notoriously said that some of you all should just see the people that you're talking to. A lot of you have gotten very comfortable online, being able to say things from the safety of your house. And you wouldn't say that to somebody's face. You know you wouldn't say that to somebody's face. And then the few of you that are dumb enough to actually go do it, you get what you get.
Moist One says, can we just take that word and change the meaning of the word to douche? No, I don't think that one. I don't think so.
I don't really think that's. I also don't think that's how that works. I think like if it changes to something, it kind of just happens organically. I don't know that you can make it be different.
This shows you Moist One really likes that word. Pink Eye says, is Keon part of a swingers club?
I don't understand.
I don't know.
I have a girlfriend. That is the person that I'm with. Prior to having a girlfriend, I did not need porn. That is the point I was trying to make. I don't understand how swingers came into this at all.
So, never mind. I got all kinds of jokes. I'm just like, we're just gonna wander back over here to the text line.
Somebody's talking to me about some adult stars bathwater, and I'm like, how? Why the hell?
Also gross.
Also gross.
Yeah.
Also gross. Why do you know that? Why do you know that? I don't think we could be friends because you know that.
I'm not here to kink shame.
Why do you know who that is, and why do you know that was happening?
Ringless Joe says there's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Yeah, because there's no coyotes on the loose in Arizona anymore.
Oh God, don't
Why?
do that. Why you bring that up? It's just out of the nowhere. Why would you do that?
We're just over here just supporting you and your Lions quest, and you just gonna crap all over us for losing our team. It's not cool. Slow Mo Zo says, all right, Keon, hear me out. If Jerry Jones dies and you had access to his skull, you wouldn't use that to drink the Cryer Ball whiskey?
No, Jerry Jones never did anything to me. He just owns the Cowboys.
That's also gross.
It's very morbid. There is a fan base that has antagonized me, and if they put their tears in whiskey, I would drink it. I don't understand how it's becoming all of these other things. It's becoming other things that it's not.
Seabass says Keon has sex with people. Damn, he's doing better than most of the fourth dimension. Over. T-Licious says Northern Nogales Community College fans, Dallas fans, then Ralph. Those tears would be delicious. In theory.
I just in order for it to taste delicious to you, you actually do have to hate those people enough.
Weso Grande says, sounds like only a tear enema would satisfy Keon's hatred for the Dallas Barrel Chasers.
None of that would be necessary. I'd just drink it.
Nobody's said anything about sticking it up his butt.
Yeah,
it's just weird. Now you guys are making it weirder.
Getting odd. Wow. How?
Swave Dave says, after his last comment, I think Donnie's got dementia. Go Lions, he says. Moist One says, I'm still trying to finish eating my Gwyneth Paltrow candle. Ringless Joe says, Keon doesn't need porn. He's got a very vivid imagination. Okay. I'm just feel like moving on now.
Sure. Yeah.
We are
if
so
that's what it
late.
is. Yeah, I am.
But now we have only an hour and a half to talk about every game that happened. So
we got right back to our regular time.
Let's just, Swazman thinks when Jerry Jones finally passes over to the next life, I'm sure Bobby Knight will meet him and tell him, good job for being a jackass to all the douchebags. Okay. I don't know that.
I have no opinions on that. So maybe, sure.
Cardinals won a game yesterday. Why are we not talking about that? How are we not talking more about the Cardinals winning a game? beating the Bears as I had foreseen.
Did you foresee it like that?
Yeah, and I just foreseen the W. That's all I foreseen.
Yeah. They manhandled them.
Yeah, it was not great for Caleb Williams. That was not great. 22 of 41 when he was able to actually throw something. But yep, it went about the way I thought it would. I just, what is the deal though with Marvin Harrison Jr. dropping the ball? It's not that little Kyler Murray didn't try to get it to him, but he just kept dropping it. So that's not a good way to keep getting more targets, my friend.
Five targets, 2 receptions, Marvin Harrison.
Mhm.
Three dropped balls. It's not like they were overthrown, which we saw that in week 1. Like there were a few of those too, where it was just some of them were dropped by Marvin Harrison, but some of them Kyler just didn't put it where it was supposed to go. That's not the case this time. Kyler did what he was supposed to do, but I don't know. The drops continue a little bit for Marvin.
Well, good news for the Cardinals. They got the Jets next week. So either they're going to do fine there or that'll be the game the Jets, really start to hustle. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like they should win that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I feel good about it. I mean, but it's the Cardinals. So the moment you expect them to win the game is typically the one where you're
true
let down.
They went and got a guy. The Cardinals got a guy, outside linebacker, Baron Browning. They got him off of the Broncos.
Yeah, I saw that. Don't know as much about Browning. I think Browning was on IR.
Well, here's what I know. 3rd round pick back in 2021. He is 9.5 career sacks. He's been in 5 games with 2 starts this season. He had 7 tackles and 1 loss. 1 for a loss, I'm sorry. And he's picked up 4.5 sacks in the last 10 games. So
all right, so there might be something there, and this is a team that just needs more pass rushing. Like they're starting to get healthier there, and I think that's part of the reason why the Cardinals' defense is starting to look better. Is you are getting a little bit more assistance in the pass rush, but it never hurts to go and get more.
So yeah, I mean, yesterday was a good game by Trey McBride and the Avocado. Also Trey Benson. Those guys got some touchdowns. Connor didn't. What happened to Connor?
Nothing.
He just wasn't in the right place at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, like when they gave him the ball, and he's also got the just a different role in that group of running backs. He's just the sledgehammer. So you're picking up first downs by just giving the ball to James Conner. So it doesn't look that impressive. But when defenses try to adjust for Conner and then Benson's out there, Benson's able to use his speed. And boy, in the open field, that guy's terrifying.
He might be the next Conner.
Could be. And I think that's why they drafted him, because you're getting to that point in Connor's career where it may be time for him to start regressing a little bit. And when that happens, you'll already have the next running back ready to go, which is smart.
Well, between Trey Benson, Amari, the Avocado, and James Conner, 213 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
which is why you didn't see a whole lot in the passing game. Like people are going after Kyler, but they just didn't have to throw the ball that much.
I am really sorry to you Bears fans, but your team stinks.
They're bad. And if I'm the Chicago Bears at the end of this season, Eberflus is done. I go to Detroit. I try to hire Ben Johnson, and I don't care what I have to do to get Ben Johnson. You need to hire Ben Johnson.
We have to take a break. Look, we got 1 game talked about, so we'll get a couple more games talked about when we come back. And, of course, your texts on the text line. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a D.C. lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
It's fall football on the Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
It's the sound of the fight songs, the excitement of the rivalries. It's the unbelievable upsets. It's the Heisman hopefuls. It's the national rankings. College football is coming. Listen for it on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Today Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. So your Commandos did not need a Hail Mary to beat the Giants. Can I just tell you, though, I am a little surprised the score was as close as it was. 27-22. You had a nice lead there for a while, then you let these guys back in. The hell happened there?
Yeah, the offense did slow down a little bit, but at no point were the Giants ever in danger of winning that game. It just, from start to finish, the Commanders just controlled the game. But the Giants, like, if you look at the Giants' scores, they lose a lot. They don't get blown out a ton. They have a good defense. That's a really good defense. If you wouldn't know it, because the offense can't keep up with anybody.
So they're on the field forever, and then they get overwhelmed.
Yeah, but that's a good defense.
This was backwards. You guys put up a big lead on them, and then they started coming back to life.
They adjusted a little bit, yeah. But it's not. I don't know. I watched that game, and at no point was I like, oh, here come the Giants. The score looks closer than the game was.
Yeah. So Daniels, they're saying, oh, he's still going to be our guy. He's still going to be our part. And he says, listen, the run heavy first half of the game wasn't due to our lack of confidence in Daniel Jones.
I do believe that. I think the run heavy.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that his beard is naturally that dark. I don't believe a lot of things that this man is saying because Daniel Jones stinks.
I do. I mean, I believe that they're going to ride the season out with him because this entire front office, they committed to Daniel Jones. So they're in a ship with him. If they start saying Daniel Jones isn't the guy, it's time to bench Daniel Jones, they're making the case for themselves to be fired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the update. Daniel Jones isn't the guy, and they should be fired. They screwed the whole thing up just royally.
Yeah.
Look, so where's Saquon Barkley now? He's jumping backwards over guys. And he's still doing great. That was a crazy, crazy move. There's no way. I mean, you know how badly that could have gone when he turned around and just levitated over a guy? What in the hell was that, by the way? That was just an amazing thing.
It was just a freak athlete being a freak
Oh
athlete.
my God.
Yep.
He's running along. He's doing his Saquon Barkley thing, and he's jumping over dudes and stuff. That's what that seems to be the end thing again. Everybody's trying to hurdle people. I'm like, don't do that. You're gonna get hurt. And they're like, no, look at me. And so Saquon Barkley's like, yo, you want to hurdle? How about this one?
I'll show you how it's done.
In midair, he turned and hurtled backwards over the top of a guy. What the hell was that? D Banks After Dark says, yeah, that hurdle should be called the Eagle crop dusting. That was an amazing move. But also could have gone a whole nother direction. How would he know? He was going backwards. It just, man, that's dangerous.
It's very dangerous, kind of scary, but I don't know. He's such an incredible athlete. It's just, I wonder how much of that is he was actually aware of where he was in space, the body control that takes. It's absurd.
He jumped over, and how did you know where the guy was upright? He just went boom, right into the guy. It was, if you haven't seen it, look up Saquon Barkley backwards hurdle. That should find it for you.
And the spin move before the hurdle was already.
Oh, it was nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty. Just nasty. So Commandos get the W. What's your record now?
7-2.
That's astounding.
It's the best start they've had since I first started watching this team back in 1998.
I don't know if it was strength of schedule or if the Lions need to be worried about you guys.
There's a little strength of schedule because they are playing with that fourth place schedule from last year, but they've genuinely beaten some good teams at this point. So there's a little bit there. And the defense is actually starting to look like an actual defense, which I did not expect as a development.
A lot of this is unexpected. Just enjoy it.
No complaining from me. I'll tell you that.
And no complaining from me. I knew last night's game between the Vikings and the Colts would go that way. I knew that this was how things would go down. I didn't think that I did not think that Flacco would play as badly as he did. That was a surprise. I thought he would do a little better. I didn't expect to win, but I expected him. He had 179 yards and an interception. He was 16 for 27, and he didn't look. He didn't look good. He didn't look healthy. You know what I mean? When they show pictures of his face, I know he's got gray hair now more than the dark stubble, but he almost looked ill. Sometimes when they show his face, he was just like, he always has that kind of vacant sort of stare. He's always had that.
Yeah, that's not new.
Just now, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
And maybe this is just the year. He's finally just reached that point where you might just be too old for this, man.
Slow-mo, Zoe. I feel like giving you a 5-minute penalty.
Oh boy.
Cliff Kingsbury's a genius.
I wouldn't say that.
No,
but I will say Cliff Kingsbury is better when he doesn't have to be the head coach of a team.
No.
I don't want Cliff Kingsbury to be the head coach of a team. But apparently, if you give Cliff Kingsbury an offense and say, just do this and nothing else, he can do that. He's doing it. Like the stuff that he's running it's kind of crazy. Now we'll see, because we're coming up on the second half of the season, and notoriously Cliff is not great at those. Teams tend to figure out what he's doing offensively, and he's been bad at adjusting. He was bad here at that. He was bad at Texas Tech. So we'll see. But no, I wouldn't say he's a genius. I'm not going to ever go that far.
Weso Grande says, I don't think you can even do what Saquon Barkley did in Madden. That's how sick this was.
No, the game doesn't have anything. There's no way a person programmed that into the game.
How do you do that? You levitate. It's broken. Madden was broken when he did that. Ringless Joe says all the Packer fans calling Goff a dome baby are very quiet after yesterday. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes, Ringless Joe. That is a good point. It was his thing, wasn't it? It was his thing. If it was cold outside and he played outside of the dome, he was going to have a bad game. But I think he heard that. He finally heard that. It was like, okay, I'm going to change that. And he changed it. And I'm sure he heard all those people calling him dome baby. And he definitely changed that yesterday. More on that in a minute.
They probably get the 1 seed in the NFC. So what difference does it make? Those are all home games. And then the Super Bowl, if you make it that far, they don't really play those in cold weather. So the Super Bowl in a dome this year. He'll be all right.
Where is it?
In New Orleans.
Right.
Superdome.
Yeah, okay. Just hope there's no weather. Fifth letter says, Keon, I expect my Raiders to win every game. It's why we suck so bad. I got to stop expecting to win, damn it. If you're a Raider fan, you probably by now.
Just for your own personal mental health.
Yeah.
at the worst of the Commanders, I expected them to win 0 games. So they just wake up and go, all right, I guess this is another loss.
Allen and Porter, I don't know if that's how he is. He's worried that Kyler Murray could turn into a Tom Brady and stop throwing the ball at Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe, but I don't think he's that kind of. I don't think it works that way for him. They'll go to practice. They'll work some things out. I think. I mean, you may have seen him a little less enthusiastic about throwing that way. Tom Brady throws it at you. You miss it the first time. You don't see a ball again for weeks.
Yeah.
There have been players where they're like, hey, he's the new young guy. You're like, oh boy, you pick him up on the fantasy football. He dropped the pass and you're like, well, there goes my week.
So go ahead and put him. I'll go ahead and release him. That's fine. Back on the waiver wire with you.
Swave Dave says maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. has a hard time catching Kyler Murray's baseball sidearm throws. No. How it's thrown is irrelevant. It gets to you, you catch it. You're a receiver. That's your job.
And also, what about all the other receivers? Marvin Harrison's supposed to be the best one. They're not all dropping passes. So this is not really going to work. Also, Patrick Mahomes has a baseball sidearm throw. What are we talking about?
Commando Duke says, Commandos are aight. He says, as a true Skins fan, I will start to take Daniels seriously after that game scheduled on November 24th. Okay.
So wait, the fact that every week Jaden Daniels is doing something a rookie has not done is just not impressed you. Like you won't start to take him.
Commando Duke has his standards.
They're very high standards because Commando Duke. Listen, man. Let me reason with you because we both root for the same team. We have seen starting at quarterback for our team, Mark Sanchez and John Beck. We saw they started him on purpose. And that was the worst football I've ever seen in my life. We have had something in the ballpark of 22 to 23 different quarterbacks in the last 6 years. Can we be happy about the one guy we have that actually looks like something? We got to actually put a higher standard on him than we did any other quarterback.
Who are they playing on the 24th?
Let me go ahead and check that.
Because maybe you'll agree if you just look at that.
Because if that's the Dallas game, I already believe that he's going to torch them. So I don't. That's I don't know if that's something I need to wait until then to find out about. Like I definitely believe Jaden Daniels is real. I don't think I need to wait anymore to start taking him seriously. November 24th. Yeah, that's the Dallas game.
You get him twice, by the way.
Yeah, you get him twice. That's the first Dallas game, and then we end the season with them as well. But yeah, he's got to beat Dallas. That's just par for the course. But
November 24th, is that Thanksgiving game?
Maybe.
Ooh. Wonder if we get Thanksgiving.
Oh wait, no,
off this year.
that's a Sunday. That's a Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
Ringless Joe says, I will disagree with you guys on Danny Dimes. Yes, he may not be a great quarterback, but constantly self-destructing a team can make a rebuilding take a lot longer than it needs to. Sometimes firings are a reasonable response to a bad season, but often the key is patience and standing behind your team and coaching staff. Too many teams see firings as the remedy. Here's the problem with that, Ringless Joe. You're incorrect. Danny Dimes is he's garbage, and they should have kept Saquon Barkley. They paid the wrong guy. They lost the wrong guy, and this is where they are at. Firings are most definitely coming,
and they're coming, and they should be coming because this is the third year with this coaching staff. This is not every year a new coach. This is year 3 with this group of people not doing anything good. They're destructing the team. If you want to talk about self-destructing the team, they're destructing the team. And he actually didn't throw an interception yesterday, which is the first time he hasn't done that in something like 7 games. He's part of the problem too.
Commando Duke says, all right, beat the Cowboys and I'll buy a Daniels jersey. There you go.
There you go.
Whistling Gerbil says McBride jumping in the end zone wide open because Kyler couldn't see him was hilarious. Oh yeah. That was predictable. He's just like, ah! Our boy was like, Mom, why can't he see? Because he can't see him. That's why. He can't see him. He literally could not see him. And it's the truth.
You gotta just get some guards and kick that out. If Kyler's going to be your quarterback, that's the only solution to that problem.
Random Texter says Harrison just might be having a hard time with knee-high throws. Swazman says, Jeffrey, a lot of coaches like Andy Reid, one fumble and you're headed to the Arena League, you know? Some coaches just can't stand fumbling.
Yeah, and like you got coaches like John Harbaugh, who's specifically a special teams coach. That's his background. One special team screw up, you never see the field again.
Kiss the Cook says that Saquon Barkley move needs to be in Madden 26. I would bet it will be. Average Joe says, don't forget the fumble from Harrison as well. Oh, that's right. Seabass says, this episode of Daily Blender has been very enlightening. I know more now about Keon than I ever wanted to. Well, another hour to find out more. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
Hey, sports fans, this is Dylan Cohen.
And I'm Keon Rose, and we're bringing you Beat the Book every weekday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
So if you want the latest betting picks, advice, and analysis that's sharp as a knife,
or at least sharper than Dylan's last pick on the Cardinals.
Oh, you've got jokes, huh? Maybe you're feeling bold now that your Commanders actually look decent this season.
Hey, even a broken clock's right twice a day, right?
Well, tune in to Beat the Book with us, Dylan Cohen and Keon Rose, every weekday from 2 to 3 on 1580 The Fanatic.
Brought to you by Sport Trade, the newest sports book in Arizona.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You know about courage? I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. He'll be in tomorrow, I think. We got Keon Rose in the control room. You guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. So I think we're going to have to get used to this. Cardinals win. Yay! Commandos win. Yay! Colts not so much. Here, let me just do this. Moving the guys around in the studio.
Yeah.
Are the Packers ahead of my Colts? I think we have the same.
Let me double check that.
Yep. So it's Commandos have a great record. Cardinals have a surprising record. The Colts, I got a minute. Mhm.
Everybody has a turn, I suppose.
So am I at the?
Yeah, you're. Yeah,
I'm at the
the
back.
Packers are 6-3. So.
All right, fine. Anyway, so that's just the way it's going to be for a while. We have a new texter says, "Hey there, longtime listener, first time texter." I can't read the rest of your text, but it's nice to hear from you. That was actually the first thing I thought. That was actually my very first thought on hearing that title. So, but that's where we're going to leave that. I mean, I could probably get away with it, but I'm not going to do it. Old man says, I just have to say this. I love your guys' lead-ins. You mean the Beat the Book with Dylan Cohen?
Or maybe the music that.
The music. Oh,
I'm assuming that's what that is, because
it might be Dylan Cohen.
It might be, but it was like 2 hours ago. Just seems kind of late to mention that.
Ringless Joe concedes on the Giants. He says, but I still think Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence should not be fired. We weren't even talking about that.
Yeah, it's not every situation. I'm just talking about specifically in New York. They've botched that for all the years that they've been running that team. And the regime that was there before, they didn't get fired very quickly. Dave Gettleman, they, drafted Daniel Jones, and they rode it out with Gettleman for a while before they switched to Joe Schoen and what's going on there. So it's been a few years. It's only been really 2 regimes for the Giants in Daniel Jones' tenure. And the new one's going to get fired. The one factor that seems to still remain as this team continues to flounder is Daniel Jones.
Yep. Yeah, he's just not. He ain't the guy. Swave Dave says, hey, Keon, any stats on Hall of Fame receivers that had crappy rookie years? And if so, who are their quarterbacks? Dave, that's something he'll look up another time.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of work right there you just gave him.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Let's see here. Bat Flipper says, your Commandos are a good buy. Texas is trash. They haven't played anyone, and Georgia went and showed them what a national champ looks like. They beat Michigan and Oklahoma on a down year.
Cool. What do you want me? They're probably still going to make the playoff. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Did Texas lose this week? They win this week.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the game.
You don't even know about your own team?
I was doing some things.
I figured you'd have looked at the score at some point.
Let's see.
He doesn't even want to look. He's looking.
Yeah, no. After the Georgia game, I was a little deflated. I don't get as excited for these games.
Hey, listen, I'm a Colts fan. I understand that.
as I did previously.
How do you think I feel? Shane Steichen after last night. Right now, Joe Flacco is our starting quarterback. Stop it. Stop it, Shane. Don't do that. Don't just stick with it. Win or lose.
Yeah, when you start doing the quarterback carousel mid-season, that's when there are probably some potential issues there.
Well, we got to get moving on all these games. So, let me know. Anyway, so the Cowboys, I picked them to win, and they lost to the Falcons.
Yikes.
Can I just give you a little insight on that? The Falcons, they're a fine team. They've been fine. But Kirk Cousins should not have won that game. He generally never wins against the Cowboys. As far as this goes for his career, he was 2-9 against the Dallas Cowboys. He was 1-6 against the Cowboys when he was with Washington, and 1-3 against the Cowboys with Minnesota. Dak Prescott couldn't even get that right.
I mean,
cost me a pick.
I don't know,
jackasses.
I don't know if we're going to blame Dak for this.
I'm blaming the entire team. The entire team is booty,
as you should. But
hey, Cooper Rush, looking good, pal. Looking good.
But also, like Dak had the hamstring. The hand doesn't look like that's going to be a fixed issue anytime soon.
Here's the deal: CeeDee Lamb. He says sprained AC joint, so he has no air conditioning. I don't know how you can play without air conditioning.
I don't think that that's
refuse
I don't think
to
that's
play
an
without air
conditioning thing.
Well, then what is an AC joint? It's sprained, whatever it is. They say he may not be back till week 10. Not a serious injury to the AC joint, but still something that could nag.
It's where your shoulder blade and your clavicle meet.
Right here.
Yeah. The acromioclavicular joint. That's what it's called.
Well, everybody knows that. Anyway, so CeeDee Lamb, he's not going to be around for a bit. Dak Prescott, they say, with his hamstring, he's going to miss multiple weeks. And with the hamstring, he says he felt something pull. He says it was something I'd never felt. Like Jerry Jones and the love of his children.
At least one of the children loves him. Steven has to, because he's running the team.
Has to is not love, Keon. Has to is not love. And
if Jerry's going to leave you the money, which is at least leave you the football team, which is where the money is for that family, you'd think you'd love him a little.
This dude is, listen, his son is offering to buy him steak on a regular basis. He's counting, he's got little hash marks in his office where he's counting the days.
Jerry pops in and makes certain decisions, but Steven's the one that runs the day-to-day stuff more so than Jerry. So I already assume the team is going to Steven. At least Steven.
But Jerry Jones is that kind of jackass that all of a sudden he'll leave it to some niece.
Yeah. leave it to his niece's cat or something.
So now these idiots are 3-5, and Jerry Jones talking about the trade deadline. He's like, "Woo, well, yeah, we'll probably do a couple things next week." Well, yeah, you were all in, weren't you? You were all in on the draft. When he was all in? Was it the draft or what was it?
He said it.
Free agency.
Yeah, around free agency time.
Woo, something in the mix. I'm a long way from being dismayed about this team.
They didn't do anything in the free agency, and they didn't do anything in the draft. There's no indication that they were all in on anything, and they lost a lot of talent. That's the part that really confuses me, is that they seem to be okay with losing their center and guard and running back because Tony Pollard's not there, and
everybody's
really have used him.
Hurt, gone. There's nothing good happening there.
I come to find out that Derrick Henry would have gone to Dallas if they had matched Baltimore's offer. They didn't. That's not all in.
No, so
you could have had Derrick Henry.
We'll probably do a couple things this week. Means they're going to do a bleep ton of things or nothing at all. There will be no in between, or it'll be a guy that makes no sense. Oh, we trade for a long snapper.
Oh, good.
Why? You have two already. I just felt like we needed it.
It's just I don't know how they get out of this one, because that teams don't give up players very easily. So are they mortgaging the future for this team? Because I wouldn't.
So the Broncos, you'd say they have a pretty good defense, right?
Yeah, it's a solid defense.
So Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, 41-10 over the Broncos. That's respectable. That's not this they steamrolled an easy team. They had a little resistance there, right?
Yeah, they had some.
Little Zay Flower action, little Derrick Henry, little. Would you say they are back on track, or would you say this was just, that's a nice game, but they're still going to have trouble against really good teams?
I would say they weren't ever off track. They just have a weakness that, depending on who you have a quarterback, you can exploit it. And if your offense is rolling, you can keep Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry off the field. And the teams that have really beaten them are two very surprising teams for that reason. They just seem to be perfectly built to beat the Ravens in particular, which was the Browns and the Raiders. I don't think the Ravens are off track, because the Ravens have also beaten very good teams in that time frame. So, I think the Ravens have a fatal flaw that kind of needs to be addressed, or we could see them lose like that Cleveland game, but in the playoffs.
So my son is a Broncos fan, and I feel bad for him because his season is over. He played high school football, and his season, maybe his season's not over. I knew he had a bye week because they were trying to figure out his team. Wasn't great this year. He played amazing, but his team had a hard time putting some offense up. And so he was still waiting to find out if he was going to be in the playoffs, but he knew he was going to get a chance. He's like, oh boy, I get to watch the Broncos this week. And I'm like, yeah, son, they've been playing really well. You should be proud of your team. And he's like, yeah, I haven't really been able to pay attention because I've been so busy playing football myself. And he's like, so he's looking forward to this. And I'm like, I said, well, this is probably going to be a good game for you. I said, I picked the Ravens to win. I said, but you should have a pretty good game here. And it started out looking that way. Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton doing the Philly special, and that was a hell of a catch, by the way, by Bo Nix. And he put his life on the line for that thing. It was looking pretty good. That was it. That was the end.
Yeah, I didn't believe in the Broncos. I know Ralph was trying to say Bo Nix looks really great, and I kept trying to tell him.
Did he pick the Broncos?
I don't know. He was talking about it, and I was just trying to tell him, look, man, the Broncos played the Panthers, the Saints, the Chargers, and the Raiders in the previous 4 weeks. You're supposed to look good against those teams. They suck. They lost to the Chargers, to be fair. But the 3 out of the 4 teams there, they beat those teams because they're bad football teams. Like, you're not going to just beat the Ravens because you beat those teams. So, and also Lamar Jackson, I don't know if you know this, when he goes head to head with the rookie, he's never lost.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He does not lose.
Raven Kid says Lamar looked better in a week where he didn't practice against a supposed number 1 defense than he did last week, practicing full week against the Browns. I don't know what to expect from this team anymore.
Divisional games and the Browns and the Ravens, those games just get weird. They just get weird.
So Lamar Jackson is now the first player in NFL history with 4 games where he has a perfect passer rating. Somebody's have to explain some stuff to me. How does there's 3 passes that got dropped or missed. He was 16 of 19 for 280 yards with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. How is that a perfect passer rating of 158.3? Don't you get dinged for the 3 incompletions?
You actually do, but it's not that big of a ding. And I keep forgetting why. There's like an equation that you plug all the numbers into and it spits out the passer rating. And it does allow for
perfect just be perfect, like 19 of 19
complete passes. Not really, because it's trying to account for the fact that
perfect
because you can throw 19 for 19, but you actually wouldn't have a perfect passer rating if you did that if they were all like 5-yard passes.
NFL math is stupid.
It accounts for the yards, it accounts for touchdowns involved, it dings you for interceptions. Like, it's trying to take into account more things than just did you complete all the passes? Because you could complete all the passes, throw 19 bubble screens. You didn't actually do anything. You're not a good passer because you threw 19 or 20 passes into the flat.
Well, whatever the case, Lamar Jackson is the first person in history with 4 games and a perfect passer rating.
It's absurd. He has the Superman cape games every now and then where you're like, oh no, never mind. This guy's just on a different planet as far as being an athlete goes.
Just got to do something in the playoffs, my friend.
Yeah.
So my wife had Tyler Bass, the kicker, but I think she got rid of him. And then he turns around and has the game he had, 61-yard field goal for the Bills, beating the Dolphins 30-27. I watched a lot of that game, most of that game. I felt like that was probably the best matchup to watch at the time. This is the game where Tua Derp decides to dive head first, survive this time, but
please stop doing that.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Your luck's not gonna last.
Like,
man.
there are certain guys that can do it. I see Josh Allen dive head first all the time.
You're not worried about Josh Allen that way because
JD Daniels, but those guys seem to have the body control to be able to avoid defenders when they do it. They get down really quickly.
There's a magnet into his head.
Yeah,
for other people's helmets.
Tua seems maybe not. He's just not as good of an athlete with anything that's not his arm, essentially.
Yeah. So that was a good game to watch, and it came down to that field goal right there. And at least there was. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and it wasn't horribly lopsided. It showed you, all right, well, the Dolphins, you're right. Just add Tua, and the game gets better for the Dolphins, but they couldn't get over can't get over the hump on this one. But gives you at least something to look forward to, Fish Tank. Even though you didn't win, I mean, this could have gone either way, really.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that Tua missed a lot of those games where the Dolphins could have feasted on weaker opponents and gotten some wins, but instead they weren't able to do that. Now he's back, and your
record is bad now.
Yeah, and you're in the tougher part of the schedule.
Yep. you know what? Good news, bad news, good news. Hey, the Panthers won a game. Bad news. Dennis Allen, you're fired.
Yeah. It's and part of it, like, I kind of feel bad for him because your quarterback's hurt, your team's not great, your receiver keeps getting a concussion, your best receiver. Your defense is
he's had a season before
sketchy.
This.
Yeah. And
it's not like his first season. They didn't fire him in his first rookie coaching year. He has not done well.
I'm not arguing it for him to survive. If you lose to the Panthers in the run of seasons that he's had in a division in the NFC South that actually feels wide open and pretty winnable, yeah, like losing to the Panthers in a year like this is a fireable offense.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't expect anything else. And so now the Saints have named special teams coordinator Darren Skyrizzi as the interim head coach.
Isn't that the name of a pharmaceutical drug?
Well, his name is Darren Rizzi. I just added the Sky.
That was like,
I added that. I'll be honest.
Okay,
but it's cooler if it was.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's a really cool name.
Sky Rizzi.
Also, you should sue if they didn't ask you.
Yeah, he. I don't know. He'll help the team continue to lose at the same pace as before. Dodger Danny says, seriously regretting that my job has taken me away from you guys. I just want to say hello. And I'm not reading that about the Dodgers. I don't even care, Donnie. I don't care, Danny. Ringless Joe says, Jameis Winston had his miracle game and then returned to form. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, man. We'll get to that in a minute. One of the things about the Saints, I think, it wasn't just the loss where you saw Rizzi get fired. Chris Olave going out and into the hospital with that concussion. Derek Carr just not looking great. Michael Thomas went online and he says, Derek Carr, ass on my granny. Not just booty, not just ass on my granny.
That's very specific. You are a specific ass. When I say that you're ass, I have one in mind.
Brutal picture
for you. That is wow.
So for Derek Carr, his response was, I don't know what I did to him. You got his friend about killed, probably. That's probably what it is. But now Derek Carr is the NFL's first quarterback to lose to 31 teams. And there's a good chance he's going to make it to all 32 this year. The last team that is left for him to lose to, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Derek has got to win that game. You can't let that be your history.
You need to retire if that happens.
Yeah. I would.
Is he of retirement age yet? Would you say?
Not really.
You need to retire if that happens. You get beat by all 32 teams. It is time for you to grab a big old handful of petroleum jelly and join your brother in the broadcast booth.
Do you get credited with the loss if you start the game but don't finish? Because if I'm Derek Carr and we're trailing at halftime, I might retire then. My legs! just so it doesn't happen to me.
Yeah, just fake the injury.
Yeah, like cramp. I mean, I don't want that on my permanent record.
He's in the blue tent. What's wrong? I don't want to lose this.
Yeah, he's 33. Like there's
just rather not go out there again.
Supposed to be a couple more years of football left, but this is. I mean, I would probably just skip that game entirely. Why not just have a cramp that week?
So speaking of the Raiders, they got blown out by the Bengals. The Bengals. Oh my God. Gardner Minshew got benched. Then here comes Desmond Ridder, and they got burnt. They got blown out 41-24. Oof. There was some bad football yesterday.
Yeah, there was.
Thank God I got the Sunday ticket, so I didn't have to watch the bad parts. I just got to watch the good parts. But oh my God, Burrow actually, he had a pretty good game there. 5 touchdown passes. He did throw a pick 6 to Jack Jones, and then Raiders are like, oh no, okay, never mind. So that's it. I got nothing to say about that. If other than the Raiders are like, wow, okay, Rich Scangarello, James Craig, and Luke Getz, you're fired. Oh, you're fired. They fired their offensive coordinator. They fired their offensive line coach, and they fired their quarterbacks coach.
That's
Antonio
the most
Pierce
thorough version of that I have ever
has fired the offense. He's fired the offense because you can't fire yourself, and I'm sure he's under pressure. So now that was his move. Next up, Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, that's the problem with firing the offense. Is if you fire all of the components of your offense, you benched your quarterback, your OC is gone, your quarterback's coach is gone, and the offense doesn't improve, people are going to start looking at you.
That's a good question, Swazman. Where is Jimmy G? Is he just sitting at home, or is he backup to a backup or something? Whatever happened to that guy? Not like you should really care, but
it's just a curiosity more than anything. Let's see. Where is Jimmy Garoppolo?
Is he a 6-pack of ass? That was
he's a 6-pack.
Keon loves that.
He's a 6-pack of never playing again. Is what he is.
He's the Rams backup. This was man. Oh, that's right. You're right. Rams backup. Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Moise.
No,
that's right. Because him and McVay, they're friends. Which seems more like a favor than anything, because I don't think Jimmy's any good.
Yep. So sorry, Raiders.
I would just like to take my victory lap once again to remind Niners fans that when I came here and they told me that Jimmy G was good, do you still think that?
I don't remember that. They actually said that?
Niner fans defended Garoppolo when I said that he sucked. And I feel vindicated right now. I got right in line with Brock Purdy. That guy's awesome. Jimmy G could not play.
No.
Just plain and simple.
Niner fans are funny. All right, we got to take a break. We're making pretty good progress. I think we, as long as we stay focused, I think we can get to the end of the show having talked about all of the games that happened yesterday. Now, remember, if you need the radio for your Monday Night Football, you're going to want to, at 6 o'clock when we're done, switch over to Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM. It's more like the West Valley area. I don't know. Try it. See what happens. And that's where the Monday Night Football is going to be, because we have GCU tonight at 6:45. So that's the fact, Jack. And, just go find a TV. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. Brought to you by GBank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. vsin.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
The men's college basketball season started on Monday with a full slate of games. The Duke Blue Devils are the betting favorites to win this year's national championship, Duke at plus 900. While the UConn Huskies, who have won 2 straight national titles, are plus 1,000 to claim this year's championship. The Kansas Jayhawks, who began the season number 1 in both the AP and the coaches poll, they're plus 1,100 to win the title. Alabama, the number 2 team in the preseason poll, plus 1,200. Gonzaga plus 1,600 to win their first ever NCAA championship. The Houston Cougars are plus 1,600 as well. Iowa State is plus 1,800. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. And it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to goodrx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call, 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
Thursday Night Football is live on the Fanatic.
Cincinnati travels to Maryland to take on the Baltimore Ravens. The season's getting later, and Cincinnati looks to turn things around and string some wins together. Meanwhile, the Ravens look to stay aggressive. Can Lamar and the Ravens hold off Joe Cool and the Cincinnati Bengals? Thursday Night Football, 5:30 this Thursday.
Your home for the NFL in the Valley is 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic and 1580thefanatic.com.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Catch much of Bill Belichick on the Monday Night Football with the Peyton boys? A little bit. What do you think of that? I think it's pretty interesting.
I think it's good. I like the defensive perspective of it. I think that's kind of lacking, I think, generally. And for just to have one of the best guys to ever coach it, I love watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. All right, we got to talk more NFL stuff here. Oh, by the way, Big George sent over a picture of his kids on the Halloween. One's a farmer, one's a pumpkin. Farmer looks pretty happy. The pumpkin's like, well, why don't you just leave me in the ground? That kid does not look happy. That child does not look very happy, Big George. What's the problem with that one? The big boy, he's just like, let's go get that candy. The other one's just like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what your problem is. I think your problem is, kid. Anyway, old man says, I'm excited to have Dan on the Lopes team. What else are you talking about?
I don't know.
Dan, I don't think. Do we just play an old promo or something?
I don't think so.
Don't play it again.
No, I was just looking to see what played.
Well, let's double check that.
Yeah, just because maybe we might have to fix that.
That would have been like 2 years ago.
No.
Well,
we didn't just play anything.
No. Okay. Just let me know later. Anyway, don't know what you're talking about, old man. All right. So can we talk football now, please? Yes. All right. So the Chargers whooped up on the Browns and made me happy. 27-10. Justin Herbert, he did all right. Couple touchdowns, and I'm just glad when the Browns lose.
I thought Herbert was great.
It was 18 for 27. And
yeah, that's a good day.
Well, he also, here's the thing, he took advantage of some busted coverage by the Browns when he hit those touchdowns.
You're supposed to do that, though.
Well, I know, I'm just saying they were kind of gifts. The Browns gave Herbert the game more than he wanted. That's what I think.
I don't know. Like you're gonna have those shots.
Well, where was the rest of the offense? The rest of the game. I mean, they had a 20-3 lead in the first half, and it was just one touchdown in the next.
I mean, the Browns do have a good defense. Like that's why they were able to beat the Ravens a week ago. But yeah, they're not a perfect defense, so they had a couple of busted coverages, and when those happen, you can't miss. And I've seen quarterbacks overthrow those and not be able to take advantage of that. 282 yards and a couple of touchdowns. That's what you want.
Old Jameis Winston returned.
Yeah.
26 for 46, 235 yards, only uno el touchdowno, and 3 picks.
Still better than Deshaun this entire year.
Oof.
If you can believe that.
Oof. Just, listen, in a couple of years, I'll forgive the Browns fans. I don't like the Browns fans. I don't like the Browns team. I don't like the Browns ownership. I don't like anything to do with the Browns. I feel bad for guys who are perfectly good guys who just, through no fault of their own, end up on the team. But I will enjoy and drink the tears of your misery for the next couple of years. And then after that, I'll be nice to the Browns again.
Figuratively, of course. We've
Because
already
your nasty ass owners hired that nasty ass Deshaun Watson, and you're just losing. You're just losing. You're just losers. I'm glad. Listen, karma is automatically working on the Browns, and I'm happy. That's all I got to say about that.
Doesn't always happen, but it's good when it does.
So, man, I don't know how many times I can keep picking these Patriots. I picked the Patriots, and the Titans beat them 20-17.
Yeah, same.
Drake May was like, "Oh, maybe I'll be somebody," and it's like, "Well, you weren't somebody before. Why are you being somebody now? What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, good," and then he didn't. And then the Titans beat him. Titans beat him.
Now, I do think that with the Patriots and that offensive line being as bad as it is, I don't like Drake May throwing the ball 41 times. Like if you're trying to actually protect him, then have him not be shell shocked long enough to learn how to be an NFL quarterback. And it seems like he's got a lot of promise. Dropping him back 41 times just seems like,
well, that's why they increased the likelihood of the 2 fumbles, right?
Yeah.
And that line was not doing great. Did they have no kind of running game? I mean, they got Ramondre Stevenson, right?
He did the rushing too. Drake May rushed for 95 yards.
This is not a winning idea. And then Gerard Mayo, he had to answer like, well, why didn't you go for 2 on that touchdown at the end of regulation? Why didn't you just go for 2 on that? He's like, I don't want to get into that. They're like, well, it's a fair question. He's like, yeah, I know. It's a good question. I just don't want to get in. So I'm not going to answer that.
Oh boy, he learned from Bill well. That's
a Bill. You're right.
He's like, I just don't feel like answering it. You can ask it. And I'm not even saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't want to answer it. And that's the end of that question.
The ghost of Bill Belichick was in the building.
Look, Gerard Mayo, coached under Bill Belichick, but also played under Bill Belichick. Being exposed to Bill Belichick's personality for 20 years is
it'll rub off.
Yeah, you're just going to learn some things.
So the Eagles had to intercept Trevor Lawrence in the end zone to get their win. Saquon Barkley had that amazing reverse hurdle. And yes, absolutely. But when you look at that game, they very well could have lost it. That Eagles win, that was balsa wood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was weak. It was, you should have stomped there. Have we figured out what in the hell is wrong with the Eagles? Is it coaching?
I think coaching is a big factor in it
because they got a lot of talent, and I know that Jason Kelsey's not their center anymore, but it seems like that hasn't stopped them, has it? That hasn't been that's the reason. What the hell is going on with the Eagles?
They're just inconsistent. They can't, from drive to drive, they can't consistently score points. They seem to always be, hurting themselves, whether it's with penalties, whether it's sometimes just bad Jalen Hurts decisions. It's like he's been playing all right, but it just always seems like the whole Eagles operation, some part of it seems to never be working the way that it should, whether that's the quarterback on any given play, whether or not that's, some of the wide receivers on a given play. Even though they have good receivers, it just seems like they're not always locked in. I don't seem to understand the Eagles either. On paper,
yeah,
they're a great team.
Right. What's their record right now? I don't have
Philadelphia Eagles are 6-2.
So they can figure it out.
When you look at some of the games and like how they won them, you're just like, why didn't you blow out that team? That's a bad team.
They can figure it out, but under the leadership they have, I'd be surprised. 5586 says, I think we're realizing that Bill Belichick was not the problem in New England. It's the GM and the ownership.
Well, Bill was partially the GM, though, and had like the final say on personnel decisions. That's why when I blame Bill for what happened in New England, it's the GM side. Bill Belichick, the GM, was kind of holding up Bill Belichick, the coach.
Yeah. So, by the way, if you're going to keep texting and you say you're a long-time listener, first-time texter, then you know what I'm saying right now. I don't even know why I have to say it. You're going to need a texter nickname. You're just going to need one. If you need help, we will help you. But if not, whatever you come up with, and as long as it ain't too dirty, we'll use it. Swazman says, Keon, I forgot to say, way to go, Commandos. They've been a surprise of the first half of the NFL season. Sure hope they can finish the job.
Yeah, well, I hope so too. The offense has looked absolutely brilliant, but we'll see if in true Cliff Kingsbury fashion, everybody figures it out, or if he actually has made adjustments to that. I don't know. I hope so.
Big George just sent me another picture of his son, Cole, He says, yeah, he's a very serious baby. He doesn't smile very often. He says, today is his 1-year-old birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Cole. And he did find a picture where he is smiling. So and when you see the picture where baby Cole is smiling, baby Cole looks a lot like Big George. Smiling Big George.
That's cool.
So, at least you know that one's yours. I'm just kidding. 888. That's the whole thing with me. With people, I got my kids and they're like, oh, he looks just like you. I'm like, better. I've spent so much money on child support. You would not believe. This kid better look like me.
Oh, no.
They all better look like me. So, all right. Where are we at here? Oh, what do we got? We can talk about another game. Let's talk about another game. The Lions. And yes, it was rainy out there. Rainy day. And, Dome Baby, Jared Goff came out, played well. And they beat him pretty easy. I mean, that 24-14 score, that's just because the Lions were like, hey, let's be careful. We've won this. Let's just take it easy. And, I'm sure they were monitoring it and being careful, trying not to get anybody injured, which is smart, right? You should just get your starters out if you have to. But on this one, they just kind of like, all right, we're good. We're just chilling, just making sure that the Green Bay doesn't come back. We got a 10-point lead, 2-score lead at least. So they're just like, yeah, we're fine. 7-1. That was some strategic cruising after the 24-3, in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and like the struggles for Green Bay in the red zone continue. Like they racked up a lot of yards.
Well, yeah,
over the course of that
game.
That
was by design of the Lions. Let them kind of run. They're going to run the ball. It's raining, so they're going to run the ball. Let them run the clock off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. That's why, they got the score they got, because it was just like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Like sometimes
take your time.
Football is about getting to the end of the game. Like once you've won it, you've already had a game where you were probably doing too much against Dallas, and then you lose Aiden Hutchinson, who's your best defensive player. Maybe don't make that worse.
They learned the lesson and they executed it perfectly. On a soggy, rainy day. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, I love that. I don't know if he's going to get fined. He showed up at Lambeau Field and his T-shirt said, Green Bay sucks. Big white letters on his shirt. Green Bay sucks. Is he allowed to wear that?
I don't know if he is. I know Kittle got fined for that.
Well, there was a profanity in his.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Was there a little extra because it was directed at a specific team, or was the profanity the issue?
I think profanity
entirely.
We're going to find out, because Amon-Ra St. Brown walking on national TV, Green Bay sucks. Man, you got to know you're going to win the game if you're wearing that.
Yeah.
You've got to win that game.
Because you're in Lambeau, and look, he didn't drop a pass that day and got a touchdown. So good for him.
I think Matt LaFleur is learning from the Bill Belichick coaching tree. He's just like, I know you're going to ask me these questions about Jordan Love's interceptions. I think that's annoying. I don't want to. Very annoying questions. It's really annoying. I don't want to talk about it.
I do think that coach is just being honest and going, look, I just don't want to talk about this. It's not that you're asking bad questions. I don't need to attack the media. I don't need to, say that
he talked about it a little bit.
But
but he was just like, this is really annoying up here. I want you guys to know this. But he's fighting. He's competing. We know we got to take care of the football. I don't question anything about what he's trying to do. We just got to do this better. And you people are annoying.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. All right. We only have one game left to talk about. Wow. We actually made it with a lot of time to spare. So here's what we'll do. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the Rams and the Seahawks game. Did I miss? Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the last one because we talked about the Colts already. So we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll finish this thing up. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a D.C. lobbyist. She got pregnant and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, your prayers. He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now He's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
1580 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Yeah, boy. 5586 says, oh, I've been dreading this day when I had to come up with a text or nickname. I have no idea. Any suggestions? Come back tomorrow. Yeah, this is too late in the show for me to start coming up with some ideas. And Randy should be here, and he's pretty good about that.
Yeah, and he's got the master list of just solid names that we can either just take that name directly and apply it to you, or we can maybe remix it a little bit with some of your interests, your teams, whatever.
Yeah, I'll be able to give you more thought on this tomorrow, 5586. So come on back and we'll sort this out. Old man says, I love the Lions coach. Was a strong work. He's a very good coach. Yeah, okay. Ringless Joe says Jordan Love is being paid $220 million. He's got almost as many interceptions as he has touchdowns.
Okay.
And
Patrick Mahomes has more interceptions than he has touchdowns.
Oof.
Does
he really?
Yeah. He's got 9 interceptions, 8 touchdowns on the year.
They keep winning. Big George, let's see here. Thank you for that. Yeah, 5586. Come back tomorrow. It's not a bad text or nickname, but I'll wait for Andy. Yeah, please do, because that is a bad text or nickname. I'm not going to say that. Come back tomorrow. I'm not going to do that. It's not a good text or nickname. Let's call you CBT. Do we have any initials? Well, CK.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be an initial. 5586. Don't be an initial. George, why are you bringing up Quincy Jones?
What?
Well, he passed away. He was 91.
I mean,
you're supposed to at 91.
Like at that point, that's a high score for a lot of people.
He was behind We Are the World, Sanford and Son theme song, Michael Jackson's Thriller. We all make mistakes.
Well, the music was good.
The music was good, but he was a child molester.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that Quincy Jones knew that.
No, Michael Jackson's the child molester. Anyway, Random Texter says Danny Dimes is playing just as good as Mahomes, right now, stats wise.
Yeah, but look at the things this is why you can't just look at stats. You have to watch the games because the way that Daniel Jones is playing versus the way that Patrick Mahomes is playing, if you swapped them, the Giants would be infinitely better and the Chiefs would be infinitely worse.
Which I don't know how that's relevant at the moment, but they're going to win tonight.
Because we were talking about Daniel Jones earlier, so I'm assuming it's an extension of that.
I'm going to take Andy Reid aside and say, hey, the fumble Rooski thing you did? Please don't ever do that again. It's how much money are they paying you to do that?
In 2024, we don't need the fumble Rooski anymore.
Maybe if I pay you that much, maybe not do that again. I'll pay you that much not to do that again. Because that commercial's just got to go. Just got to go. All right, we have one game left to talk about, and we have achieved our mission of talking about every NFL football game that happened on Sunday, and it's the Rams defeating the Rainy City Bitch Pigeons on their own field, no less. 26-20. It was a walk-off 39-yard touchdown in the overtime. And here's the thing that made it worse. The Seahawks had the ball first. Ouch. And they couldn't get it done. They ended up having to punt. Oof. So sad.
I don't.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes it worse, I think, than all of that is over the course of the game, I don't even think the Seahawks played badly.
So here is the text exchange between Ralph and I. Let's see. Gino. He says he sucks. And then later, after a good play, he still sucks. And I said, hey, want to go to overtime? He says, no, losing regulation.
It's less stressful that way.
And he says, Matt, says maybe he could throw a pick real quick. He's like, I want this to be over now. He's like, oh my God, this game won't end. My sadness is immediately on after this on NBC, which was prophetic because, he says, I think the Colts have a shot. And I was like, okay, Ralph. He's clearly he's not in his right mind or liquored up. Then he's like, I predict a pick 6. And I said, I picked the Rams to win. I hope he does. Oh, did I? Oh my God, I did. Oh, sorry. Anyway, and then he was just, this is horrible play call. And I says, hey, some defense you got there. He says, no, the defense played a great game. Gino and play calling was horrible. I honestly would bench Gino. I said, for who? Howell. At least he'll move in the pocket. Gino's just a sitting duck. And that's where it went dark.
Yeah, I just think he had one more shot of whatever drink was getting him through that, and you're done talking.
I was easy on him. You have to admit, I was easy on him.
I mean, you really could have gone after him a whole lot more.
I think that's why he went after Gino, was just to try to throw me off from going after him.
Well, the thing is, if not for Gino's 3 interceptions, they probably win the game. I mean, they looked like the better team for a lot of that game, but he could not stop turning the ball over, including one of those interceptions was a pick 6, which is a 14-point swing because they were in scoring position when he threw the interception. So
red zone.
Yeah.
So Geno Smith did come out and say, hey, I cost us the game Sunday. I'm going to step it up. At least he was able to walk right out, take it on the chin and say, I'm apologizing to my teammates, to the city, to the organization. They put a lot of trust in me with my decision-making. And when they put the ball in my hands and when my teammates play the way they play today, gave us a shot to win, I got to make sure that we do. He says, it's on me, my mistakes, all me. And he says, I'm going to work harder and I'm going to fix this. So what more? I mean, I like Geno Smith.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah. And it took responsibility. How often do you see that anymore?
Especially from a guy who you're a starting quarterback in the NFL. You're not, I'm not saying you're given immunity, but you're the one guy that no one would be shocked if you decided, I'm going to throw other people under the bus. And he didn't do that.
You know what was great about this is after this game, the Rams and the Seahawks now have the exact same record.
Which is genuinely funny. Also, the Cardinals are
tied for second in the division behind the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Not that I care about the Cardinals. I kind of appreciate this.
I care a little because I got Randy among them, Cardinal fans in my life, and it's just It's just nice when they're happy.
No, that's it. That's the only reason. I have no reason to give a crap about the Rams. I don't have a reason to give a crap about the Seahawks. I don't care about the Cardinals. Not really, except for my wife and Randy. That's it.
And just generally, Cardinal fans have been really nice to me. So,
Yeah, you don't remember any like jerk Cardinal fans.
No.
Well, they've been a long, battered franchise, right? So they got no reason to be talking that kind of crap to nobody.
Yet the Jets exist and that fan base. Like, they've been bad forever too, but it just has not stopped their fan base from being full of jerks.
It's more about where they're from, I think.
Probably.
So now the Seahawks and the Rams are both 4 and 5. Oh, wait, 4 and 5, right? Isn't that right?
Uh-huh.
They're both 4 and 5. And
hold on.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Because I think one of those teams had a bye week in there somewhere.
Oh.
So yeah, Rams are 4 and 4.
Oh, okay.
Seahawks are 4 and 5. They're at the bottom of the division.
Still bad.
Alone.
And the Arizona Cardinals, 5 and 4. And somehow first in the West, NFC West. Yeah, take it while you can get it. Why not? Rob says, next year, Jeffrey, next year. And he says, go something that I won't read. Random texter says, final score prediction for tonight's game. You want one? Chiefs with more. Is that good enough?
Buccaneers with less. Yeah, I thought he was offering one.
I hope it's a high scoring one.
Yeah, I don't really do score predictions personally because I could just watch the game and find out what the score is going to be.
Moist One says 2 of the worst red zone interceptions you'll ever see by Geno Smith, but can he step it up?
I think he can. Like, he's shown, I think, over the last few years, like he's playing at a high enough level. He can play better than that. That game was a nightmare game, and sometimes you have those. But good Lord.
Yeah.
Just at the worst time, because against a divisional opponent in a tight division, you just can't afford to have that stuff.
Random texture says, do you think the Seattle Seahawks dismal performance has anything to do with Ralph not being on 1580 lately? Oh, there's always a connection to how soon after you'll get him on the radio. Sure. Oh, my God, look at the time. I want to remind everybody, if you want to listen to Monday Night Football on radio, you'll want to switch over to Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM. If you're listening on radio, if not, just go to moneyradio1510.com and you can hit play there and you can listen to the game. So let's get this going. It's time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back to the year 2001, the greatest sports moment in Arizona history occurred at Bank One Ballpark, downtown Phoenix. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the ninth inning of Game 7 of the World Series when Luis Gonzalez hit a little blooper into the left center field off of Mariano Rivera. Dropped for a single, giving the Arizona Diamondbacks a 3-2 comeback from behind victory and our first professional sports championship. It's been so long. 23 years ago.
Wow.
23 years ago. I loved it, though. Sitting there watching Derek Jeter sit in the dugout, staring onto the field after Luis Gonzalez's hit. Joe Torre sitting there just hanging on the railing going, oh, God. Watching the Diamondbacks celebrate before he just turns slowly and walks away into the Yankees clubhouse. Yeah, we won that on their field.
Wow.
That felt so good. Yep. Anyway, and by the way, think about what today is. Today's November 4th. That made that and Game 6 of the 2009 World Series and Game 6 of the 2022 World Series. Those are the latest Major League Baseball games ever played in a calendar year. You don't usually have the World Series go into November.
That's true.
I think that one went into November because of 9/11, right? They stopped stuff and had to start it back up again.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And I don't know what happened in 2009 and 2022. That's post-COVID. So I don't know. I'm really not sure why those were so late. You have to schedule them a certain way, don't you?
You do. And well before the season.
Well, we probably don't have time to figure out what that's about.
2009.
Okay.
World Series just had to be suspended for a couple of days because the rain was so heavy.
Oh.
They couldn't play.
So maybe 2022, same thing. I don't think that was COVID related.
I don't think so either. No.
All right. I can accept these answers. I can accept weather as the answer.
And 2022 was a lockout year. They started the season late.
Oh, that's
players held out.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I mean, that's only been 2 years. I already forgot about that.
I completely forgot. Yeah.
Shooter McGavin says Diamondbacks won the World Series at home. No, they didn't. Did they? Why did I think that was in New York? No, you're right. You're right. It was a Bank One ballpark. I read it out loud with my mouth. Oh, that's right. I remember because I could have been there if I wanted, but I didn't want to mess with the traffic. I had press credentials. I could have stood in the press box and watched it live. You're right. You're right. You're right, Shooter McGavin. I'm just getting old. Probably time for me to retire. How about now? Well, at least for the night. See you guys tomorrow. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580.